Memwakwa ba wiye the band me 90 so I ya need 100.9 FM. Yeah, live our Facebook and YouTube. Memwakwa ba the ba and nebana ewiye me bosumi da to so edu 10th May 2022. Eye manije ni awo ase nyame adum yen na enne eye enefo makomako ha ene aduasa. Ewo emfiempi mienu ene aduonu mienu emo. Eti yehwemu din ya na chasaka nafua 235 days. Ne de afeno akọ awiya ne sa. Ebusiafo mefa kwanya so amakwa ba de abadwumade yi eso. Yamomodian hwese nafua aka no ye be make good use of it na na mo bia ye betu no enya positive impact on people. Amaka wanya watu mabuna chacha ikachuma wakra ba. Ebusuade baako ani pesa wotimi hye ne so abrabom ne sesa wo pese woduru botae bi ho a wa na obekonkoden akwakoduru ho obi ene wo obeso wonsa ede wakosa botae no wate wa enna wo bekonkoden yan kakran wo hwe ase na wo sore na chese wotare ana wai na so be ne den wo betare ara edin kakran sana watimi akwakoduru sa botae no ho. So wo daachi bi a yentena sefiensa enhye damri fam ese daachi ne se bia beto afiri wiem aba beto na so ese wodi nsini anem eye adwuma mu ani ebre na watumi akonkoden adusa daachi no ho wan kasankasa wo daachi se ne mpanyita kan wo daachi wo wa wonsam wo hyebere ehye wo wonsam anamo a wo betu ne nne no eno na be kire daachi nipa ko a wo beye daachi nipa ko a wo ma ebeye daachi efia sabe obechechere busua obechechere ede ama wo ho ene wo ma enu nyina gina anamon a enei utuo eso enu ti abribia wo mu a chese dana ko animu nyina na wo mu keka wo ne masi ani ne wo mu toto wo ne ma ani ade no daachi wo mu dide daachi wo mu nya ni gire soronko ene ma nketenkete wo mu ani sododo wo mu de nyame ase ewo ene ma nketenkete bebia bia me no mienu yebu yani eguso ewo ho eti efri na ekoyi se wadwene ne se bia nipa somasi ano obente na ebeboa mu atimi eduru wo daachi ho eduru botae ho de a ene menua wo boa se san wadwene nya adwene mu foforo ye na hunu se wo daachi ehye wo nsam wo hyebere ehye wo nsam enti anamon ko a enne wo betu no sa anamon no ene be kire ba bia wo daachi no edo ebedru. For production crew aya krado jo damia duma jero sajma frema bankro enanana ya osafo nyina ebo michi dom. Unfortunately yenua be ma jo damia do ne wododo ne kakra enti odame baby awo bia awie ye we show speedy recovery. Demom kan hunu se wo de report beba ne enam so ema yade ne baaye no wo de ho report ebeba. I was for your WhatsApp line, so you activate here 05037217440 05037217444. Messages, no comments, or the buyer back can breast a fatamo at the amount. Mama need to say a Benada Bia, your corner, a year road safety campaign. I ain't the necessary road safety campaign, yeah, the best so. A bebonko mopi, Ediafa, a ya quine so jojo a home. It's answer quine so edua, when you be a to quine, Sabe and Enya or Dajane, Okuma Beto, Yamunim say, Obako do jojo, I'm a matter and can. And yes, I kitty poor ja, as somewhere see a day, near or no, and the kitabusiano. Enquantia edenoko yem pese better sani many bomb. Edena Benada Bia yet to a si one must say 30 minutes ye the road safety campaign near Bodero near Yenchere ama ubia wanam kwan so drivers passengers womo enam from munyina nkodane mpanyufo nyina ubia hunu ne chafa ya waso otimi eye said ye beya ekwan so ebedwo ama ye ho atoye. Ebusuami din e de MAAME BIAMAH AKWAFO betimi aframe biamzi one woman gada MAAME soja nya aframe amejo sododo itwa me hotel agenkrato anase me dan me ho kakra bi itwa me ho eba ye de kanawu abrel. Say we no fit jump. Them say we no fit jump. Them say you no fit jump. Them say we no go fit jump. Need FM yo. The best station in the capital. Need FM.
What you say? And you trust him. Meme ka asem bi me say. Yamfa sorry sika ma sorry ba. Say jikoya dwuma. Yamfa sorry di sika asma mi ka muntie. Tiye. Say asori sika no. Ni atam. Ni ade ama sorry ba say jikoya dwuma. Enye no kore da. Yamfa sorry sika no. Amma besia. Muntie haye. Yamfa sorry ni sika ntue school fees. Muntie haye. Anya say le ba yare da. Konfu anache. Enti awasa sorry ne betua. Anya sanity.
Shebi tomoso.
Anya sanity. Tiye. Muntie asem ni ye. Asori sika no. Ya de ya sorry adwuma.
Amen.
Ya de ya sorry no na adwuma.
Amen.
What do you say? Ya de bi sindai. Ya de bi ton konwa. Tiye ni ye. Ya de bi ton fidie. Aye kasam.
Sorry adwuma.
Tiya haye. Ya de bi penti da no. Ya de bi to asase.
Has it?
Awo baby bebre. Enti wo sorry ba no. Wo so akoye adwuma ba support wo sorry no.
So say beji o.
What do you say? Me pese. Asem we kakra yi. What do you say? You only bebre o. They are foreign. Almost a and sorry on them. On this of my men, on pass of my men, and you trust him. Meme can send him a say, Yam far sorry sick a march or a back, said you quite Juma. Yam far sorry the sick as mammy can tell you. Say, I'm sorry sick. Near Tom, near the Amasoraba said you quite Juma, and then correct. Yamfa sorry sika no amma besia montia haye yamfa sorry ni sika ntue school fees montia haye anya sam na ba yare da konfu anache enti awasa sorry ne betua anya sanity
shebi tomoso
anya sanity kenye montia asem ni ye asori sika no ya de ya asori adwuma.
Amen.
Ya de ya asori no na adwuma.
Amen.
What you say? Ya de bi sindai ya de bi ton konwa tie ni ye. Yedi bi ton fidie aye kasam
sorry adwuma.
Tia haye yedi bi penti da no. Yedi bi to asase.
Has it?
Awo baby bebre.
In politics, you must understand the following. 1, nobody has your interest. 2, everybody is chasing their interests. 3, dealing with politicians is like sleeping with tigers. You must always have your eyes wide open. 4, and this is one of my favorites. In any political equation, there's always someone being used. If you look around and you can't find that person, then it is you. 5, serving politicians is like a bandage on a wound. Once the wound is healed, your usefulness ends. 6, in politics, never will more than the bereaved. They will get the reward while you inherit their enemies. 7, in politics, in any event, if other interests conflict with your interests and you have to choose, always choose yours. Number 8, never cross oceans for politicians. You may drown.
Stop Food Wastage Day. Yeah, adopted our initiative way free United States of America. It's mostly United States of America no about 40% reduction in food wastage no. I through sensitization and education of the public. It's an area no. And through that advocacy no 2017 omudi see what say. Omobedi Stop Food Wastage Day. Na Ghana hane dia and any first time I yes we hear den. Ye this edwuma dia ni nyina na say. Ye be sensitize public no ye be educate obi bia. No won say obodi e ba akokra na obedi beka ayade bia ebetimi de nsunsuanso aba ewiem nti no ehu dwuma na won say nam dwom ha ye die no yakase food wastage niam ekoso a eye attitude na eni pesu se bi obi na oso wanya ne sika na woto na duane na de obedi na ebesai de nka efa ye ho ben nanso process na ewo wo wiem no broni ka bibi te say anthropogenic gases ebi ni methane ni nyina emete wo boiler so anase landfill sites.
If I look at the Ghanaian economy at the moment, you know, it's doing, I mean, let's just be honest, it's doing terribly.
Not terribly.
Well, your inflation in your country, inflation in Ghana.
I don't know the economy in the world that's doing well. Tell me, where you are here.
Inflation in Ghana.
The highest inflation.
Well, 15.7%. The Ghanaian cedi has fallen 20% on the dollar, the worst after Russia, which has a lot of sanctions against it.
It's began to firm up. It has begun to firm up. We're seeing the CD systematically appreciating against the dollar.
People still can't employ, I was just reading today, people in the hospitality industry that you're pushing so hard, having to lay their staff off. We've got taxi driver unions threatening strikes because of spiraling fuel costs. I mean, it doesn't look like a place that I want to go and put my money.
Where will you put your money in the world today? Where will you put your money? In Britain, which is suffering the worst standard of living statistics for over 30 years? Is it? I think let's situate ourselves correctly. The world is going through very difficult times. Ghana is no exception. Nigeria is no exception. There's no country in the world that is escaping the ravages of both COVID-19 and also the impact of the. But what you need to look at are where are the elements being put on the ground that look beyond the COVID and beyond the Russian-Ukraine war. And I think you'll find that in Ghana, the recovery program that we have is one that is considered very credible, and it is what is going to give us the opportunity to come out of this period a stronger economy. And it is that future that we're looking at when we're attracting people.
They've collateralized almost 10 billion of Get Fund revenue through the so-called 7-year Dache bond. And after mortgaging all the family property, they are desirous of selling off the remaining family cutlery, the small spoons and knives left, by collateralizing our mineral revenue through the dubious Ejapa deal. And it is suspected that they are in the process of collateralizing the revenues from the recently implemented e-levy. Countrymen and women, yesterday at the May Day address, the President stated that it is not possible to remove taxes off petroleum products because it will result in an inability to pay public sector and wages. What he did not tell the workers was that some of those taxes cannot be removed because they've been collateralized and the money has already been spent. The Energy Sector Levy Act, when it was introduced by my administration, had a 5-year lifespan to pay down legacy energy costs, energy debts. Today, ESLA cannot be removed as a part of our petroleum price buildup because this government has spent the money up front and has collateralized it till 2035.
No such since independence. We abolished the 5% VAT on real estate sales, abolished the 17.5% VAT on selected imported medicines, abolished the 17.5% VAT on financial services, abolished the import duty on the importation of spare parts, abolished the 1% special import levy, abolished the 17.5% VAT on domestic airline tickets, abolished levies imposed on Kaya, abolished excise duty on petroleum. We provided full corporate tax deduction for private universities who plow back 100% of profits into the university. We reduced the national electrification levy from 5% to 3%, reduced public lighting levy, reduced the special petroleum tax from 17.5% to 13%.
Abusianfo kana ubre na aso ayede eba no medical aka se benada bia ewo mementi so no yeyi tima aduasa ede esi ho no mo a yede kanfo na yabode road ya fa kwan so jojo eho na enne no yenya ntie se National Road Safety Authority for womo atonkra ede ama transport operators ese womo nti womo ani hwe womo driver for no papa nya sa de a ene mmra ene wom be chia yam etuwe ye ntwentwen so kra ye kwa homa so straight na ye ne opanyin kase a wono na ye acting executive director eda National Road Safety Authority ano engineer David Osafo Adonte ye ne no adwetwen enkomangede ye ba wie ye mo ha o
Mami BIAMAH mejo so pa.
Empom te sai.
Obo ade ada ro mami ho ye pa.
Nyame adom yeso ya ho ye pa afe ne afe wo.
Awo. Amen. Miss Matthew pa.
Yo, angede we de boko ayi yenya ne ntia se National Road Safety Authority for mo de warning kese pa koma transport operators no se wo mo check wo mo drivers no anya sa de a ene wo mo bu mmra so a mmra ene wo mo ebechia yam sa kwankyere yi a mo de maaye ne kokobo a mo de men no breben na mo de baaye ena afi so no hwan ne hwan ene mmra ebechi wo mo a driver for no anase transport operators ana wo mienu nyina
Yo mami BIAMAH me de wase. Wa hanso ni matifo na nso aha. Enokreni ba wache. Nso ta pansu di medie no enyanto ho ye de egusu pa se abrevia ni yina ye na nso a egusu bo ye dero. Se unu se de bo mu die na ha kamya aka ya se kwanhia hu sam de yabo dero pa. Nam ya arrive alive ni stay alive so. Ane mo da ma media fo se ne mogifo team na nso a ye tufo ewo fa ye se ye fa ye ka kwan so ya driver fo passenger fo pedestrian ni motorcycle fo na ni ntumi emo ye ho ban na eno ne ehwe ni yehu se ejumadi no ase nipa bi aso ye den ya na akwansia si ne ko ye nhwehwemu a yehu se mfomso no ya na efuye na driver fo titiri no a enti na ya yetutu ye nsa wo so no ebi di mraso ebi ni mraso na ya kata kire wo no mu ntie ya de wo fa kwan bi so na asemi kwati konso jan kwanti ade a ene ese itu na mo foforo se ni aye ne se National Road Safety Authority ra abandi ma yen ya ye be ye authority na pejie mu anwe ye se kakra na se ka ne se ye kadia ene ye be kapa na eti nipa ba ko no se a driver for enfum so a won beye o ka kwan so no enfam ra kwan mu no se police for nchi won o fam ra kwan so se ne ya wo me da emom ye pejemu akọ mpempenso bi a se samfum so na wo beye no ye ye nhwehwem ne hu se adwumakuo bi a wodon se GBRT Totua consent committed STC friends and OA Syria and now say omo aka no kura ka ho a ene na adwumakuo no na ye di ebekire wo mo so san say but biara ye di no man mu no ya na emre da ho no kwa esese ye de to abubuwa no ne ye de abeto abubuwa na National Road Safety Authority aban enam tumi so like yen Road Safety Act no NRSA Act 993 say yema ye ni hwe nyumankuo no so kwa wo ye lorry kwan won so a wo ye commercial passenger services yema ye ni hwe na yema wo mra bi na munni so driver ni no ya pe driver ni bi a wani onya bofra wadi 18 years abo so na ni da ho afi onim de EPL ya man driver's license afi so ya ka no wakon titi mu afi so driver ni no se otwika do ba bi a ya onhome odu ba bi na se ebia speed no so ye hwena ebro so dodo a ye se ya won te so ya won no san kaka e se no se adwuma ko no a odon no na hwema se adwuma bi edi mu o se be ni de ye se be ye de ye mom adwuma ko se GPRT o otu ano e se mo so nya mo fam de ye na che se kwan so jo na de ya ma ye na no anya ba afofo adwuma GPRT mo fam ho nyem mo na mo ne mo fra no ebi agro wo ho mo de adwuma bi ahye wo mo nsa mo mra no mo ntia se wo ho na nsa so be free lorry park ho follow do obi etika kwan so no na oni misuban pa bi okọ yine ba yi azuban pa na di a enye o ye pani na mo fra every nanka wo fie ni e kan nanka wo for dia ase do pe nu ka ho bi enti enam so na pro a ifrimiti enti e be janye mra so na dem fu say driver ni bi a ye be show na usunu ban na uyi na di no etwa ekofa se opo na wodon no opo na ma wo kyerɛkyerɛ wankyerɛ wo nyɛ sɛ wo yɛ ɔne nya nkɔ ho enti wayɛ asoɔden ni wonam kaa kwan so a woyɛ threat to security and safety there ɛneɛ opo na adɔn yɛ wɔ bi ka tietietie ɛhɔ ne yɛakyɛ ase yi yaba
na kyerɛ sɛ wei nom nyinaa no mo ne apolisifoɔ ɛna collaborate ayɛ na menim sɛ bia road safety foɔ mo bɛte tax force bi a wɔn nso so ɛbɛboa apolisifoɔ
nokorɛ me nuaba na nea akwan ne sɛ polisi deɛ sɛnea mmara ɛka no ɔno ɔntumi nkɔkye GPRTU ni sɛ ekuo no akye mo ɔntumi nkɔkye Ghana Highway Authority ni sɛ ɛsɛ sɛ anka biribi a wode bɛsi ha na wamfansi a wamfansi nti polisi ma akyew daabi ɛyɛ ka ne sɛ ɛno aban de ahyɛ National Road Safety Authority nsa ɛsɛ yɛyɛ polisi ama adwumakuo polisi ankasa deɛ ɔno ɔkye individuals yɛsɛ wo te si akyi woanyi mmara pa adi woanyi mmara so polisi bɛkye wo driver ni no ɔne wɔ bi ɛyɛ deɛ no akɔyɛ adwumakuo nti sɛ wobɛhu ne yɛse akye obi di a ɛnyɛ ne yɛakye Ghana Highway Authority san sɛ yɛse road signs anaasɛ ebi a traffic light bi esi baabi ɛsɛ sɛ wɔn ɛsɔ no wɔn ama nso nti no yɛn nso abɛkyew nti ɛn yɛ de wokɔ fam na kwan so nti yɛhwɛ dwumadie wei no a yɛn kwan deɛ ntumi nyɛ yɛn ne yɛn nneɛma polisifoɔ ɛne yɛn nuanom DBL fam naa ɛka bom san sɛ bi wɔ hɔ a ɛyɛ sɛ DBL ɛna ogyina ne tumi nso na ɔde kyerɛ sɛ adeɛ wei ankɔ yie ebi wɔ hɔ a polisi na ɛsɛ sɛ ɔkyerɛ yɛn ebi wɔ hɔ a yɛn na dwumakuo bi na ɛsɛ sɛ ɔkyerɛ yɛn yɛde wobɛka ho na wɔtumi aboa yɛn wɔ nimdeɛ kwan ho ɛne mmara kwan ho na yɛtumi de mmara no ayɛ adwuma nti ɛbɛyɛ task force sɛdeɛ wokan pɛpɛɛpɛ
yo yɛate wei deɛ ɛyɛ ma mo ne adwuma paa enti woyi saa monitoring and education yi a moyie ne directive as sɛ mode aba ɛbɛboa sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a nneɛma ni bɛda ne kakra because monitoring ne education ni adeɛ ayɛ no for so many years a ɛsɛl na asɛ baabi ɛgyina ɛne ɛgyina wode nhyehyɛ foforɔ bi agu akan mu aka wei ho
yo wei no a yɛde ɛba no kyerɛ sɛ yɛsɔre a na sɛ yɛbɛba radio so yɛabɛkeka no sɛ ntunika basabasa ɛnyɛ overtaking pa ho no ɛsɛ na kyerɛ sɛ nyɛ no nko a ne yɛbɛyɛ ɛno deɛ yɛbɛka deɛ na mmom yɛne ɛbɛdi nnwumakuo akyi yɛn inspectors no bɛtumi abɔ awura sɔre terminal bi akɔhwɛ ɛdi ɛtɔ si wɔ hɔ biara no ne atwe wɔn ato aba so tete no na ayɛ council for adwuma no pɛpɛɛpɛ bi ne yɛba abɛyɛ yi ɛdi ɛtɔ si mu ɛtumi bɛkɔ abusa mpɛ na driverfoɔ koraa no a mowɔ ha yi ɛhe na yɛ a mopɔn na moba mohome na mokɔ trip bi ba a yɛsɛ yɛ a mo nna kakra na ɛhe na moda wɔn ni baabi da a yɛne transport operator no wɔ baabi ka ɛwɔ bi ka wakɔ training afi mu akɔ training wɔn ti yɛn kɔɔyɛ ɛne transport union yɛne wɔ bi ka na saa nneɛma yi a yɛkeka nyinaa no yɛhwɛ na yɛbɔ atoro nkɔhwɛ sɛ wonni saa mmara yi so deɛ a yɛbɛtwe so asotwe ne bi koraa bɛtumi akɔ sɛ a whole transport service provider yɛbɛgye license a yɛma ɔnyɛ adwuma bio ate sɛ ɔdi yɛ mmara so nti ɛno no ama biribi ɛsɛ sɛ yɛne yɛn nuanom ɛdidi ho kita ho kakra nti na ɔtwetwe mu koraa deɛ yɛfrɛ wɔ mu naa a yɛne wɔn agye saa nkita ho ayɛ nhyehyɛeɛ a ɛsɛ fata baako ne sɛ sɛsɛ koraa deɛ yɛse wɔn fa sɛ ne tracking system ɛmmra wɔn dwumadie mu tracking no ɛyɛ abɛɛfo nneɛma bi ɛneɛ sɛ ɔtenkran ha nanso nneɛma hyehyɛ kaa no mu a otumi hu nea driver ni no yɛ kran ha kokoma se nea ɔyɛ naa sɛ ɔkɔ speed dodoɔ ɛbɛkyerɛ sɛ ɔyɛ overtaking a ɛnyɛ ɛbɛkyerɛ sɛ ɔgyina yɛ a ne wɔn anyina sɛ dwumadie bi a wodi deɛ yɛde tua a yɛhu no wɔ screen so pɛpɛɛpɛ ɛyɛtumi agyina so sɛ yɛabɔ no kɔkɔ anaasɛ light nkwa yɛ deɛ firi nsɛm a yɛde afiri nsɛm nti abɛɛfo nneɛma yi nso ba abɛboa yɛn saa tracking system yɛtenkran ha koraa no a yɛkɔ so wɔ kaa kwan so highway no so na ne yɛnim yɛkɔ so na wokɔhwɛ a company bi ahyɛ aseɛ proto aseɛ wɔn ahyɛ aseɛ ɛsɛ koraa deɛ wobɛfiri station hɔ a driver ni yɛhwɛ wo blood pressure yɛhwɛ w'ani yɛhwɛ wɔn pɔmuden kakra sɛ wo ho ayɛ hyia na wo ho ne ahyia yɛhu sɛ ampa ogyane nan so yɛne wobɛdidi nkɔmmɔ bi ahwɛ sɛ bi a wobrɛ koraa no na wode wode wɔ ntɔkwa bi anaasɛ obi haw wɔ kwan no so yɛbɛyi saa nneɛma nyinaa afei adriverfoɔ nso ho ahae wɔn na baako ɛka ho ne am driver for mo nti ha yɛbɛyɛ wei na yɛbɛhwɛ nso sɛ yɛadwumakuo nyinaa ne mo bɛtena ase na akatua ho nsɛm sɛnea yɛ a yɛ nyinaa yɛ afe ebosome nso a yɛkɔ bank ne yɛkɔgye sika sɛ salary no yɛbɛhwɛ ma driver for nso na yɛtua wɔ mo yie na wo nso yɛkɔ bank a wo nso akɔ bi ne sineti a yɛtuatua wo nso akɔtua sineti yɛkɔtua sineti ne yɛ ama mo na ma mo nso mɔbrɛ abɔ daakye bi kɔ akɔ ahomegye mu a na wɔtumi anya biribi a wɔde kɔ fie na de akɔhwɛ wo ho ahyɛ ɔyere ne wo mma eti wɔn nyinaa adwumadie foforɔ bi a yɛde bɛsesa ne dwumadie no
yo David yɛmisa sɛ deɛ na wobɛka atwa toɔ de akyerɛ ɔmanfoɔ
sɛsɛ deɛ wɔdaroma mediafoɔ ne kasa a ne mmɔmuden da ne bia no de pasopɔ bi bɛma mo sɛ wohwɛ afei mu a January, February, March afunta yɛbɛgu kyerɛ ɔman no yɛse wode toto ate atwa mu so mmiɛnsa a ɛdi kan first quarter no a na yɛhu sɛ akwanhyia so te kakra ɔhankyɛ mu baako a akyire pɔmpo mpira a yɛpira ayɛ ɔhankyɛ mu yɛte so ɔhankyɛ mu ɛnan sifo dum so ɛna ewu a yɛ a yɛwu wɔ kaa kwan so nso yɛte so ɔhankyɛ mu ɛnan ɛne akyire pɔ awɔtwe akyerɛ sɛ edwumadi a yɛgu so a yɛdi nyinaa no ɛho ba mfasoɔ kakra so wɔn sɛ yɛlu baabi ɛsɛ sɛ yɛkɔ deɛ nanso wei no ama yɛn nkyerɛkyerɛ bi ama yɛn ada hɔ akyerɛ yɛn sɛ sɛ yɛyi deɛ ho a yɛbɛtumi ayɛ nti ahyɛ yɛn kran ahyɛ yɛn den nti mo ma yɛ nyinaa dodoɔ ma commercial vehicle drivers wɔn sɛ yɛbɔ mo sobɔ deɛ nanso dodoɔ no nso ɛɛbo wɔn ho mmɔden wɔn ka ho koraa na ɛma akwanhyia yi ne owuo nibra no so ate kakra yi nti yɛbɛda mo ase na mediafoɔ nso yɛda mo ase a maame biama wodi kan ɛkyerɛ sɛ watu ho asi hɔ ayɛ atu ho akyɛ ama ɔman awia biara memenda ɛbrada awia biara na wafrɛ yɛn yɛtu amanfoɔ fo yɛde wase kɔ so ayɛ na afei wɔn aka nyinaa nso ɛnam akwannya bi so na wɔn nso nsia nea woyɛ na yɛntumi ne ɔmanfoɔ dodoɔ no amɛkasa mmom nea yɛkɔ no foforɔ yi deɛ gyibi sɛ yɛnyinam transport operators 2M Express OA VIP wɔn aka nyinaa de saa nhyehyɛeɛ a ɛde ba yi bɛgu apɔn so na biribiara tumi akɔdi ama yɛn deɛ yɛn nso yɛ yɛn ti na o yɛne yɛn nuanom Ghana COVID-19 Trust Fund nso edumu akote paa wɔn sɛ yɛtrɛ yɛ akɔba mu ama tete no yɛn ho ayɛ akɔnɔ di akɔnɔ dodoɔ no nso bɛn ama yɛyɛ education public health no yɛyɛ safety no ne yɛyɛ COVID ka ho madaroma nti nkɔso mu ayɛ n'obi ahwɛ no ho so yie esutɔbere mu ne yɛn do yi edu sutɔbere mu ayɛ na ɛkwan so ehu ewie mu ayɛ bisibisi ɛkwan so ayɛ toro driverfoɔ nyɛ ahwɛ yie na wɔn ankɔ speed so bi ɛboro so wɔn ankɔ yɛ overtaking basa bi na akotia break a na wobɛhu na akɔto na de oyɛ ne ɛde abrɛ yɛ yɛbɛda obi ase na yɛde maame biama yɛbɛda wɔ ase biam nyankopɔn ka wo ho ɔmmoa wo
Uncle Dave me nso meda mo ase paa awurade ɛnka mo nso no nkɔ so a ɛma mo anyansa yɛ abrɛ nyinaa mbɛtumi asesa nneɛma m na enim sɛ daakye bi a ɛnni akyi koraa no yɛ kwan so ɛbɛdwo ɛda se pii yɛwie abusuafoɔ Uncle Dave ɛyɛ engineer David Osafo Adonten ɔno na ɛyɛ acting executive director ɔda National Road Safety Authority ano ɛna wote se ne no ɛtwetwe nkɔmɔ no enti abusuafoɔ yɛba mo nkyɛn wei ɛyɛ nhyehyɛeɛ ahodoɔ a National Road Safety Authority wɔn de agu akwan mu ɛsɛ sɛ wɔamfa nhyehyɛeɛ car na yɛ transport operators any drivers emu ani mbara no so de a no obi na kumantwi enti wo transport operator na yɛ kyew ya kyew drivers aka enti sɛ mbɛtena hɔ no na ne yaso mu nyinaa kogu prison di a ɛne na because wala aka ne yɛ akyerɛ wo nipa 0302243540 anasa nhyehyɛeɛ be biem na ususu sɛ ɛwɔ sɛ road safety for de gu akwan mu na etimi boa yɛn na check yɛn drivers because yɛn ho sɛ ɛyɛ attitude it is a drivers sa wɔn attitude a nneɛma mu ɛbɛdwo ɛwɔ kwan so hello
I'm BIAMAH Pacho. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pacho. Dini baby Afrifi.
Pacho FM Abdulrahman Tamim Lakeside State.
Okay, Abdul, it's you.
BIAMAH. Memufu Ghana for your boy. Now the trust of yet it come, not so driver and misbehave. Then I come over captain, why you have time for our car? You the problem on our way. Now you have to come now because you have to come out of here. Mexican movies, I don't have to talk. That driver near bonnet, they are our problem. The driver needs to be BIAMAH. And you need to phone and Nancy. I am sure to drive as yet Ghana for your Kahuno Moody Sabin Pasha. Yano Yakam when you ma, you better be sweaty, but what the kind of work I can be at. It's not original term, Edin Pasha. The one for Ayrton Sanyamu. Your problem, I go a gentleman for no mammy BIAMAH.
Yo, that's it. That's it. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
If I told you, baby, afraid.
Your friend Joe, look at Sefri Kaswa.
Okay.
Mambia Memoha.
Ejo so Obama, but your brain tea cosma. Why?
Okay. Now, I can say. No cars, no. What am I call long distance, no? At least 2 drivers here. A very good. I don't know a web wapama. I can see, no. Because we turned over 7 years. Now we go home. I mean, Imperial and Medicoba. Then, accident will come so dark. Because Tabiano, when we call 2 drivers, it is a 1 year time ever why.
That's it. Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
But your dinner, baby, afraid.
BIAMAH.
Papa.
We are Cassia phobia near Casapi Cantamanto.
Yo, phobia, it's you.
BIAMAH, sir, and some are paying the 2 days. And some papa, but only say Ghana, honey, or no. A driver for Casara, more than Casaraman said, Obiano meet me, or be on fit me. It's not saying that only maybe I want to know also so bad driver. Sure, the best one on Pakwa, maybe an tie, I read the breaking on check. Coming out one country, because coming on the car, if you make a car, coming on a car in fee, what I say. It's a mass where we know the Covenant and Samuel Beckham. Mr. Choco, you do fire service. Can you say that? Papa, I didn't say it's issue. I didn't hear it. I think I'm here for cover for the other call. Fire service and the guy you see. If you need money, if you grab a form and a ticket, a police force account, police in the car, photo also. It's not say, once you are budget, no, it is a 24 transfer. I'm a cassette police for the safety for the driver for the other now. Come on,
Meda Sipi, Uswera and Cow. Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Me Pacho Dini, baby, afraid.
Pacho Jaffa, near Mekasafri Tama oil refund.
You, Pacho, it's you.
Jaffa.
Hey, Jasper, it's you.
BIAMAH, Yamema,
Amen.
Yamema,
Amen.
Mema, Wakuma Swadia or Pema or Mine, Yamema and Brim.
Amen.
BIAMAH, Asama Wakano, Asamoy Dika. The road safety for FSA accidents are so chafa. Minimum organa has first of all, Lance's office. Answer a big issue, Lance, about driver. Like I said, driver. On one who said it's not easy to take Lances. Bagana ha a mujinestic castle. Yes, and no boarding, but who can then they are now corner could deny and you go away. And now walk over could know them with ya, Obanya, by the right in the text. Answer and Calances no funny funny them. No more who say, and ya added to one. And the we no suit to one. And I was a gun almost shamra. People back who owns me that free half of them on at least one quabble fire and a kumasi. As a sense called Drew Master Pay, that police for acting or honor. That different driver as to us at the call. And the second reason is that driver sign that no him say highway, if you are driver be parking and now will be the crime more. Or no dodging no chema. Say your pepper passenger for I say, oh. The Jina Yadi way, and our passenger the catch and the driver Jina Yadi way by Mukrana. Wako Bomus.
last na me free mo hono mo atimota twem akọ tema utra tetekwashi hono mo a obaje ni mo na ka retire paima hono ahwene eda kwan mu hono who ya first of all I'm thinking and say adiwe the cat me buffer to twem a obi okuta moto bia wan hu adiwe na ofa so nta a ho ba ka na akwa ya dru baby omo ye new road na wo de be jene is painted ama me catch the driver and say no I didn't me hu ba chi no the kuma ento me wo de ma me na me san pay different car na say me pay okada o de me come back na me ko yi ade ni kwan omo catch am say den Ghana na ya me papa dia na omo mu ni adaje de twa omo pɛ kwan krampo akɔ omo adwuma mu endi saa ne mu we ya nkasa ne no boy ho afɔre na mpanyimfo no ejina yɛ kɔn so kyenkyena akyɛn a me biama advent yɛ ba ɔman mu ha no ɛso bɛte
Medase pa. Good afternoon. Epa chodini baby afrefi.
Masha mo ni fike ni o mi prefer samangezi.
Yo amwani fita papa yanko.
Ba ko pe yo wa boy ma pa. All the road safety for ba na menya de papa because so shitenia e ma foni bi se na wo ka wo lodu won kran ba bi e ho ye station o na nia me won wan say wo bedu ho no na this is assembly na MC DC ya kan office municipal office for no e gina ho certificate ma wo ho so nye ba bi e se o mu gina wo no mo gina ho na dia ba ko me say bi say road safety for no say wo bi say I don't know wo nti o mo guard for o ba check sa ne mani na. And then also say our mother to see now. Yes, some road safety for air cover. And so many people want to show a police for that some years adiano. But one yet adiano be yet. And the road safety for the form and ever and among and almost top over some Ancasia. Maybe so much more road safety every year Hano. It's almost the thing with the moment, the only for more mundi. And it may be because whatever for no more and your crocodile. So when you're pretty say, oh, you road safety on better manager, maybe no better any nano quality baby, may need to.
Okay. Yo, yeah, that's CP. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Pachodini baby afrefi.
From here, we make a safety cantonment.
Pacho it you.
BIAMAH,
Papa.
In the government, oh, yeah, oh, my good safety. Nigeria, my people car by 30 years for Nigeria. Road safety, police in Che car for Nigeria. Road safety, for any DVL for one car. You show road safety copper. Look at that move, be kaka and you are a car and the food and as soon or you will be a what's up, no, came or that car. What nonsense is that? It's when or say one power for road safety for one power woman or more cat nadi, whom could need a curve nadin the car be you by taking Nadia. What you are, Nadia is their oriented. What you require to stop by our hotel at a Maticopia, Nabaji Wuka. In Tamamani is through one class in a to be very careful. Power will see 1 year money. Because the woman, man.
Okay, I say I can't do any new hunt. Ya mo almost so. Sabe I can't do any new how bad I jumana ama and what say Joe.
That's one some more people more year man.
Me da sipi, me da se o corner obi so emre bia. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Me ba chodini baby afrefi.
Coffee me frefe no wa.
Yo, coffee it you.
Ma me bi kan ka se ya ye nipa ide enfomso e wo ye ho. Sa enfomso na ma kwanhia si. Eyi na kwa enye yi. Na emum lorry kwan so. Ewudi a ekoso etu ni di na de accident. Ade a yetimi mu a ebeje nkwa ani overspeed. Sabi eni se ye beta car nyansem. Me se ye nyina de bia ye musa ye ho asem. Ekoya ye fa so a yenya excuse bebre. Ekoya ye aka bia pakisi ekwem. E se asem ba ko pena bisa. Sa kwan no e ma aka ka fa so bia na. Ni asa bisa se e ma se ne nya akwanhia obati ye se akwanhia obi di akobom ni pa se ye wu. Emu dodo sen na e ma ana oba e na na e kaka no. Wa wuti with me India, respect my culture, say unimbi. Me nimbi. So obi nimbia, uyi mu 1 million, ubenya baako, se bi wo hɔ a. Di tia wa aden, e ma to mo boase. E ma ka ka nyanse. E ma du de nya oto no boase. Yensua saa na yenye nipa nkwa. That's it.
Bensumida Sipi. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, dear.
Bajo Dini Baby Afrefi.
Oya Kokwasi ni Kaneshi.
Yo, Kokwasi, it's you.
Then the other was in my power, Magana. Dear, now, many other ones there. Uday and Papa. There was in a mission in the more video of the uncles. Reflect before no. Some man never can any day. I mean, in the yard, means so. Baya, meeting a gay juma. And no one Ghana for your program. Last, the media can demand anymore. Kaswa, Santa Bielo, Kokaswa. Now, almost as we can acquire. I said, you would have been with the governor, sitting at you. Not the Venica. You know, the George and I'm saying, hey, you won't walk out of women from. And got what took on an airport and will buy and get a given ever. I mean, go to see
I have some more.
Nino, but no, Ayana, with museum was a banner. We could land when we had a movie. A boy shepherd the two of us, maybe some good bravo at Robert. Any woman, my lances. You know, a woman caught on your marketing to do a normal thing here.
And Sumida Sipi. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Pacho Dini Baby Afrefi.
Yama Soja.
Yeah, Alaji, Pacho, yet you.
Now, to say.
Radia Dumo.
You better road safety for us. But the moon soon are woman when baby and I'm a full cab. Now, no one say. Driver no the side or no the gate side the side no or 2 ma won't even be. I just saw who I would not want to one or baby among us. You all yellow yet to come now got off full let's do on the moon one ma almost every amount for no now what forever could say and be the don on man. I may be telling you necessary one who can wait to say be critical to see no until Uber Chama Obia Bebia and so for mana. And tis out the way a same crown of best is you know. Would the Yajimanticano Yahudia and called the Bayatano. Intermediate best letter and Nanka drivers for no young far a buying and I am family. That's you know. Yes, you quite nima. Now I am more quite now who see Toronto Cranka, Bevo, and anyone who call engine. Now young boys know dear. Mudi among from quite dear bro, my Ghana. And Mr. Abani road safety for. Yes, there will be an Nipika Clano, or no dear, or Pinipa Kakla, Mr. Milibacano.
Meda Sipi Alaji, Eddie, and no, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miniaba.
Pacho Dini Baby Afrefi.
Me Pacho, me did offer K, make a selfie new prime station cycle.
Yo, offer K, it's you.
Miniaba, my memoir basso. Road safety for my memoir, my basso. Now, I dear woman say road safety and Casano, or one church reno. Yeah, no more stations, I can see. Now, there's a mobile new prime station the year and church my drivers. But, Oka Patanas Wokuna, or more to tune in station masters, or no chicken, one trustee. That drivers Nankasa was on Casino, no more parking is your Mojima. A dear resident, church and young woman from and yes, station I can see and inquire. Taxi rank will just also never be any acquire a canopy. Or moon 2 or moon, the means no station, no more qua, no more drivers in the end. The bus a more canopy. Now the video as you are nice a fanfare. If I don't say it, your best romo, best romo, or moon prove man in Quenny Munyase, your back canopy near Wayahano. I know each other because now no, it's not done so. An accident in this station I can send one money back and get 20 in account.
And so Meda Sipi. Hello, good afternoon.
Mami BIAMAH ho fedia.
Papa, but you didn't baby afrefi.
Me pa cha orobo kwasi buati you kantamando.
Yo, orobo yetio.
Danko po nchira. Mami nchani pa mi no wa wadama. Ewra bo achanja akon me chia papa no ya bo bia samwana papa mi akuru me chia papa. Mami masuma me kan say. Adaba ko bi organ hanse no. Ayom ho NDC for papa falasi for papa. Adentina ya to lolu ayi petrol no. Ye ntu organ hanse. Ye tu organ ha ye de ko brochire. Yàrá kọ́ bùrọ̀kìrì ànsá ni àkọsọ̀rọ̀ ànsá na àyẹ̀fọ́ àwọn na mo bá tó lọ́ọ̀lù fẹ̀ so a adẹ́nta mo ní abáhùn pẹ̀lúpọ̀ ní ẹnkọ̀gyina ẹnkọ̀sí ẹ̀gyina mo ní ìsúnmú yìí nyankopọ̀ yẹ àdúmọ̀ Friday ẹ̀nà abáhùn pẹ̀lúpọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ sì gyina ní lọ́ọ̀lù fẹ̀ ní yẹ̀dẹ́ bẹ́ tó so mo di lọ́ọ̀lù fẹ̀ tẹ́ntì àjà 20% na confusion ẹ̀ ọ̀ ká mu ẹni Ghana fọ̀ náà nyinaa dẹ́sẹ̀ mi ti kàásùà dẹ́sẹ̀ ń fẹ̀ ní ẹ̀gyina ẹ̀nsọ́ mo àti chọ́kọ́ náà di adé àti tó ń fẹ́ ẹ̀sùn nyinaa mu ọmọ di natural price in the embargo ọmọ yẹn nípa náà àtàkùn bí ndc fún mpẹni fún palasi fún pàpàpàpà ọmọ bu afa na ọmọ yẹ ọmọ di sáà ìdùnnà nù adé na ọmọ ní àbáyé mpẹni fún ní nhyia ní mo ń tó àgbẹ̀ mi ehun yẹ bẹ́yẹ nù wet market na níbo ọyẹ dín the whole west petrol àbọ̀ ọyẹ dín bàbí a ẹnyẹ Ghana hanko nti mo ní mpẹni fún bẹ́ẹ̀ sí nkonnwa yẹ bẹ́yẹ ní dẹ́n yẹ ní hwẹ́ nyẹ yẹ ndí yẹ yẹ ntó so na mo ní mpẹni fún ọjọ́ na mo de fẹ́ n'aba rẹ́dí a mo de bó firi mu pẹ́kù na mo de fẹ́ n'aba na confusion ní ntọ́kwa time tell me ntọ́kwa ẹ̀yà sàmù kìtùwà adaba fún mpẹni fún ọ̀gán ẹ̀ yẹ falasi fún ọ̀tà NDC fún nkwa falasi fún nkwa mo ní nyankopɔn yẹ jùmọ̀ bye.
Yẹn soso yẹ da se mo ní nyankopɔn ẹ̀ntẹ́nà ha ni yẹ de yẹn kọ́ọ̀sì ní nyinaa bẹ́ se. Hello. Oh, wanya. Oh, last caller be Uncle Banka me ya fa no nanso assign article fa che me why. Ya me ya doma na what you said ne ye ba na wafre entem. Ebusiafo ha ene ye de nkomo ni nyina besi waka na wuso nyame ya domo e benada sa brebio ye besan akasa e de afa e kwan so jojo ho na sentuade e na sese wo bi ebu ni nua komo e wo ho no enura nyani kwohwe ayidwawulu ha e kwan so trotro driver park car ni si kwan mu en wasi woni ni mate en omu chensi passenger over 20 pesos so en a traffic ya bo apeso en ye de pe oh Ghana da ben en kakra ebe ko ye nimu ai en kakra ebe yi ai Ejabusiafo ha ne de kana wonu nyina ye de mo esie nyame ya domo a ebenada bio ye besan de kwanso jojo ho nkomo aba eda obibia wotimi efre ya se wo a wantimi amfra na ofre ya e ka chire nsoso no fa cheme adaroma nyame ya domo a na wo twese ne ba.
In spite of the firm promise to reduce borrowing, this government has increased our public debt to almost 380 billion Ghana cedis as of the end of the first quarter of 2022. This is more than 3 times the debt of all governments since the days of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah put together up to January 2017. A direct consequence of this astronomical borrowing is that our debt service obligations per annum has increased by 500% from 10 billion Ghana cedis, which it was in 2016, to about 50 billion Ghana cedis now. We are at a great risk of defaulting on our debt repayments unless something drastic is done. To be clear, despite the heavy politicization of debt by the current administration while in opposition, the real problem we face is not just because of the daunting large size of the debt in terms of value. Rather, it is the stark reality that these huge levels of borrowing have not gone into infrastructure and capital investments, but have been applied largely to consumption and in some cases even misapplied. This heavy borrowing has not been met by commensurate and significant improvement in the size of our economy and its productivity to ease repayment of the debts in future. My brothers and sisters, an important and yet very disturbing variable often ignored in our national discourse about the debt situation is the corresponding ballooning of government's indebtedness to local businesses and other statutory bodies, including SOEs. These issues must occupy an important space within national discourse because our estimation is that government's liabilities to local businesses and other stakeholders exceed 30 billion Ghana cedis, arising directly from the excessive borrowing to fund consumption-related expenditure is the harsh truth that more than half of what government collects in taxes is used to serve its debt, with the remainder going almost exclusively into public sector wages and salaries. This has created self-inflicted rigidities that leave very little space for investment in other important areas of the economy.
Now let me get to the debt stock. According to the World Bank, the attempt by governments across the world to protect livelihoods and to stimulate their economies has meant higher fiscal deficits and debt levels globally. Sizable discretionary support, along with a sharp contraction in output and an ensuing fall in revenues, has led to a surge in government debts and deficits globally. In 2020, the global government debt increased by 13 percentage points of GDP to a new world record of 97% of GDP. That was a new world record. In advanced economies, the debt to GDP was up by 16 percentage points to 120% of debt to GDP. And in emerging market economies, it was up by 9 percentage points to 63% of GDP. In fact, the data shows that the debt to GDP ratio after COVID increased in the US, the UK, Cote d'Ivoire by 12, 18, and 12.3 percentage points of GDP, respectively. The table shows that Ghana's total debt stock has increased from 122 billion in 2016 to 351 billion in 2022, an increase of 229.6 billion. At the end of 2021, external debt amounted to 170 billion, 38.7% of GDP, and domestic debt totaled 181 billion, 41.4% of GDP. Between 2019 and 2021, Ghana's debt to GDP increased by 17.6 percentage points of GDP. It should be noted, and it is important, that without the 50.1 billion for the exceptional items of the financial sector, the energy, and COVID, Ghana's debt to GDP would have been about 68% instead of the current 80% that it is. Because of COVID-19, the GDP growth was virtually zero in 2020, and this is bound to increase the debt to GDP ratio, other things equal, with a lower base.
If I look at the Ghanaian economy at the moment, it's doing, let's just be honest, it's doing terribly.
Not terribly.
Well, your inflation in your country, inflation in Ghana.
I don't know
when you hear all these stories, Mr. President, Ghana was one of the rising stars of, the economic recovery of Africa, so to speak. But when you hear about all these issues with the economy now, what exactly went wrong?
Nothing has gone wrong. We're part of those who have been very badly affected by what has gone on in the last 2 years. Until 2020, since I came into office, 2017, 2018, 2019, the beginning of 2020, we were growing our economy at about 7%, the GDP growth rate. One of the fastest growing economies in the world was the Ghanaian economy. Even in the crunch year of 2020, when the economies of the world dived, Ghana, we still managed a positive rate of growth because the fundamentals of our economy are strong. But it has been a difficult task for all the economies of the world. I think it is important that when you're making the kind of provocative statements that you're making, that you situate yourself. You speak as if you're living in the same time as you and I, where the world economy as a whole has gone through very difficult times. And there are several things that we're doing, which is in the line of being able to pick up our economy again. I have no doubt that next year, if you were to come and speak to me like you're doing today, we will have a different set of facts for us to look at.
Neat FM Neo 100.9 Neat. Neat FM Neo. Neat FM.
We have for neat 100.9 and I was so egua wuti and me mighty and I de every way and then sembe brain egu up no so Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council one more ashes say or man for ashentu ade bo no wo montungu engrofo so tu ya na de na ekoso engrofo tu ya o DPI2 say mutwum ne mumu ne betene ye pe ye beje ye betum 20% ye betum na nkra nya ene se free kanesi ko arena La Paz aboboloshi ene UTC epom hono mo de yatum omo ede 40 pesos beto soje omo ede 20 beto so edge te say die ankasa ene ekoso ewo ya hyentu ade ho ye ankasa ene ekoso ewo ya hyen ho ye betwetwe ho komo keto bi ansa na nsemisa hodo aka no anasa nsem wene ye boboroboro so aka no yetimi ede ho amane bo aba abeto mwenim na ye kwa homa so opanyon ne kasama Concerned Drivers Association of Ghana PRO David Aguado ye ne no twetwe enkomo David awie ye mawo aha. Hello David.
Mimi aba.
Aha, ya mo haba ni tafa me mind so.
Meda se na mechie dwumapa amoye edia aboa Ghana no.
Yo.
Me mind.
Yo, yenya ntia se mo friends and trefo nhia mu. Ye concerned drivers association na mo frɛ. Anase car yi operators nyina transport operators nyina na mo ahia and mo isa press conference.
Transport operators nyina ya tunidi Coalition of Commercial Transport Operators.
Okay.
Ene ewiai ana anopai yeshie mu o TUC.
Okay.
Trade Union Congress national headquarters.
Okay.
Ye nyina ya no akọ Benkromu a.
Okay, enti enkomo ben na ho say dia na ekoso ankasa. Oye enkomo. Free press conference. Yeah.
Minu aba de wo adi kan ni say nie ohene yebo a atworo aba say amanfo embo ye nsema ana sika ye je na egu no. Enye no kra ene ndi mu nso. Because yen ashenkafo na ye ka asem. Enye store boy ene ye ka asem. Ashenkafo ene ye ka asem. Yen commercial transport operators no. Ye truck drivers. Ye long journey drivers. Ye bus drivers. Ye coach drivers. Ye cargo drivers. Enunti ene ye ko hie mu o TUC hall. Ene ye den central for hie mu no eto aso. Ye kan wo ho tin nyina ni tie nyina ne se. Asem a ohene ye bo a tworo aba se ma ye omo regard ye 20% na ye je no. Eno na ya bo egu se enye no kore. Yen transport operators ne die. Ye sika ese yen, eni sika efata yen, ene ye 20% no. Ohene ye bo a se o say owo organization bi a eye GRTCC a run transporter ene die one ne manfo ye ni omuni asem. The assist stand and I say the CI die 20% na ye sha se Saturday no. Eno na that's why ye Jacob.
It is a CI the asenti ade and 20% moatum.
20% no ye nyina ya dia tum. Se ye nwanwa ni se e wo press conference na se no. Se mo reporters o mobile o mo capture ye no. Na GRTC National Vice Chairman Etiobi make say emu members 75% eti honomo.
Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council no.
Yeah.
No mo cap mo mpanyifo ete pnuti wo press conference nim.
Press conference nim.
Etu omo dia no mo kan se la omo da so gina ba bi omo gina.
Omo gina ye chi se ye je eye single individual.
Enti agwado chobu asema me. Hwan ne no omo GRTCC mu a wo mo ba press conference na se.
Alhaji Tanko ewo mu oba bi. On the National Vice Chairman.
Okay.
Oba bi.
Na hwan bi em.
O de esan se eye fidie so 70 no. O de Alhaji Tanko maboni din o ababi. Into the aka ne de the opera, the pictures and everything is there. O hwemu a obehu omo set up ni nyina ewo ho except omo general secretary.
Okay. Okay.
Na one baby.
Okay. Enti we are GRTCC one more vice chairman ababe time wachi e was our press conference am frɛ say 20% increment in there said etie bia mo beje no usu say e den important na amma ohene ye bo ano ateki stance say enya de a wo mo befo so ama sa ahintu ade bo no mo age
the ade porte ba ko pe me metimi aka e wo ma adwe mu ni say ohene ye bo a onye transport operator onye ade a oye ehyen adwumani eninti onim the air koso e wo ye field of expert and a field of work no onim the air koso e wo mu eninti e na odi say adwuma no.
Eti sa press conference am frɛ ye ministry Ministry of Transport one more aware one more ba hobby
minu aba ye nra e na ye start e bomu say enne e be si gina ye e wo ye 20% ne ho e ma mu incentrofo e ba ho enne no minhum bi da e wo press conference ase minhum bi da e wo press conference ase na che say ministry no so ate nti omo delegation frema minim but the course wo de Ghana man nyina central for e na aba
ya na me pese mi hunu sa anya bia mo ma ministry na asoso ya na say mo nhye ministry na se mo amo yoto no bombos mo de mo ho eti de mo pe e na mo beye eti se ministry e de krata aba bonten se ma obi anto ahyentu ade mu na mo susuma kwa press conference mo tumi na ye kwa ya na se bae. Hello David. Hello. Ow. Yahoma no asem network network ayifo na ba besi so anoma kokonekone no oma ba besi ahoma no so ama ahoma no ate atwemu na so send etie bi ye besa Fred David na yetimi ne no adomu esuko esan si ade all the transport operators wo nyina akwa mu ama wo mo decide say 20% increment wo mo ede ba na bibisa ne sa anya bia Ministry of Transport one mo so de one stamp esi so anase we de ombeka say ye de autonomous yen show bia sentini ye pe ene ye yentie se one mo ebo ministry na mane anase sen no ye call David ho na ye ne no atwetwe enkomo. Hello David. Aha we de ka fra ahoma no etitwo mu na bibisa sa anya bia mo press conference am fra na wie no yi ministry na asutere because one okasa emma one of the vibrant branches of drivers union eti anya bia mutimi ebo ministry na mane a ebia nko mbeba kro mbeyi obi amanaba
Miniaba medical aka na message studio say amane ebo no ye chiro ye emane ko bebia enti say ombeba say ye trauma Ministry of Transport yes ye trauma Minister of Transport and ye trauma omo amohwe ye so as a transport sector ye trauma wo nti say minister nkofo amba de nti amigina wo America ne me nwan asem nyina ne say omamba ene de yenim because ye trauma obi bia e wo say otie bie obi bia o kan bia e wo mu e wo transport
da ben na mo trauma wo
enura na ye de communicate ne how
aha na at least mo de communicate ama at least mo nti o mo response ana
Minia, the GRTC and every kanta near ye as transport operators, say ye need your friends say or any one gata bro or see any locus say a bear sadiano. And inti ye need locus see a sadiano, but yen him say a change edumani ye, inti ye truck or ma unkofua or a chance or say or mumbra. Inti no say a truck or mount, sebra, the woman in an is a me for quick kakra. On the 17th of your friend is saying March, and a Trocoma Minister of Transport say a person in Inisia, near D in Comoa, D and Neno. Ye can never ya a better assume say the Yenina Yanobeco Bencrum near the price naba. Ye Troy a Cascala, yes, I remind a Cascala 4 consecutive ratings to Minister of Transport. A movie anywhere, it means so. Ana emu bie ni wa omutimi di hu dwuma enenti enura de no so no yenim se omadi hu dwuma ana omondi ye
se modi ka twotwo bi akwa wo manfi mu nti mugidi se enura de no so no wanya de ombefi enti mu amode kwa ya na je se moto aso ekoye de mbeye
minua ba ye Ghana mrase ana ye Ministry of Transport afe enti ye bibi na ye invite na ye de ne se ye reach mu ni se obeba nti
hello oh yahoma no ye di hwamo pa so nkan komo yi emu ode yi papa emu ode yi ye hwe se yensa besan aka David anafe yetimi no atwa enkomo no so because I was say yetimi ehunu baby poti asese wo mo de akwa akosie yatumu a na eno ano no say yatum eti ene ekuo bi nsusu ba no se ene yensusu ye die nie yensu ye ne ye kɔ ne enti obi a na eno no ye kwaya na se ye bae se oman eti yera David Agwado ona ye PRO a oda Concerned Drivers Association of Ghana anno na ye ne no etwetwe enkomo na se yensa entimi enka ne ye Yeah, we see for yensa aka chairman nankasa ono eneda Concerned Drivers Association of Ghana and no Na chairman area ya mwakwaba.
Mame me joso.
Yo, David Ahoma no na etwetwa CM wa yen kra. Aha, na ye ne David adi nkomo pi na ye bisa ne bepese me hunu sanya bia sa press conference awie mo freye no. Mo yi ministry na asotere ema mo hu se wo mo aba because anka at the end of the day no kra na bia se ministry ni rep e wo press conference na se a e bia ka mo bepese wo beka bibi kakra whether se ministry ni fo aso ana se bibi e won tuma mu anka bia obeyi apie mutu sa na mo no
no kre mami che wati fo bio na mi tia GPR ti fo mpanyin fo ne GS mpanyin fo mo ba ni na mami kwa mi ameme ti obi a table mi kan obi na yetu o Alaji Tanko ono ye na GS fo vice chairman ena national chairman oye GPR ti na BIAMAH ena wo secretary Abukali ono no okane wese no o mi ati se Omatro let the best and 9 inum ama ministry no onyo no hihye fe ne ma wo ma na hihye na nam so da wo ma no nti no de akokire no ebi wo ho na ministry na bemu na wa ba be ka so minuanom ya muka nyina ye no kure ato manum asetrem wodene nti metamocho we mu di ba se ya yepe na wo mo no maka na adava fanati ase nti atere bi wo ho ase wo mo di percentage kura ba na driver fune bom so bo say woni aban akose ketada so enti eyi ba ye no wo aban di kan to mu 10% and waka chen say what you let to command say minister wo say adeni ko 10% bia ma ye entrance nti ye mra ne yemfa percentage ne mra bontin na driver fune bebo a driver fun pen phone wo tron wo ponna went me no man sia was under my day no and we actually or the step me ya what the to aban pen for nimma me no wo ko kan e ma bank can say tax in sabi won't mean team fiso and we actually was not the 2 petrol e me net this 1 gallon and I'm 51 30%. And ninti wo said that trolley the command minister Alaji Tanko kan plane and so go 2 times on yan kasa simu ko 2 times okoya minister say was oni wo ohunu ohine yabu abo ohine ma bobu amane ese kache minister say yaban ho ye pese ye behunu ba bia petrol na do driver funu ntimi ohine yabu aso oni ho oba bebo na bemene ya obi so ohine yabu ase na ono no wo jira ma driver fo na oye PRO ma transport ministry aso asem do ntimi misan enti won ntimi class enkopem tama aban be ka se nne na momra awo mra driver fo na ebebo wom awo mra driver fo na do wom kwa hiam mo se 10% every ho mo se 20% every ho mo se 30% every ho and na 40% now mo da so to wa mo pese mo yes say ma driver fo and say no so ya yes say
na chairman mi sa we say mo ne ohene ye bo an na anya ana say mo ne ministry na anya ebese mo kire mo mami
ma panyin fu kire mu kire ne say na che say ohene ye bu ade oni station oni terminal bia enti so no kan nya no na ye adwuma episode letter ba esko bia muntu eso Protia Cooperative Tiger Consent to Davis GPR to put a papa man kata obi age enti ono dia kura de won fanya asem demo minister na no on person wo mu sia no na on person ni ani sia dia na ya fa lord femra wan kasa unu hu na be kasa o na me so na say problem nyina bai mo mi antwensa ni entrance na bibi wa yenka na sem ye mani ma sa bi wa woni ni problem ya 20% wo ma confirm ne ye nyina ye ti ase nyina ye gya tum ni de obia from on the 7th for ye gin wo mu obia na sonye na obia nsesa na adwene because na 30% and wo mo draw 10% and about 20% and tiano na ye juma sisi
na mami mi say o chairman say isa GRTCC no eno so ni recognized body emrem wo se mu nyina mo hye wo mo ase and this wo mo ti wo free transport ministry ho a no wo masane e de abremo adam ese matem ho afi wo mo ho anasa den na ekoso
me pa cho me bisa mra no wan sense obi an san mra bi ase ono no ohene ya bua no onye drabani
meba chairman Efiri mresantini no, some ne GRTC for eye adwuma bom ana meboa. Nti e ba ne san de na ba ye, ya fe de mo se mo temo.
Papa ne ye ade bi. Eno na ma yen collection no fukura yen consent ye tun yen fi GRTC. E bi se wo mo say ubedu baby ye wo odo taxi run. Ubedu baby ye wo timber taxi run. That people so now wo ma register our district assembly. It is uncle of you know, GCRC. And GPR to the woman, woman, so be asked. And to one more letter, common minister say, then you ever see a to Petroma, no afraid GRC for one more year, yearning conking in their name. Now, your question, a driver for, say a percent a bay taxi be so. What to be? And the end, yes, in saying. And I can't see a better. At the thing, I know Papa have a true statement, I bet I say. Onu kan bi na obi amonwu adene so ye ne driver phone na ne hia ye no ye di ko jabo en kan ni first one ya be press conference o second odo na second one ai wo kan bi ne yesa sa de nyina e ye hu se opeso betray for that time on and ye yi ni film say ye mfa ne kan enu nti na large tanko enne ye be press no Kumasi ofa kan no fi Kumasi bai no be ka say papa na nkasa kura de on pesi ye nyina be se na nim biu. And yes, na they are near GPRT for cargo drivers, tanker drivers, any sprinter drivers, bad drivers, and the woman next year name. I can't say, not for a year two, our union collection. The minister say that Obia Mona Mania or was in Bia Mecanunti, or Mabona Mania, because Nana Besiama, GPRT national chairman, or your innocent sentiment, meaning say. Obedi across and you no cano. Woman, I like the tanko say, or Nanka says, pam 2 times. Me, Ankasa, no can say, me, a community town. Because there's a petrol, no dear. The goose cosra. Love any betum. Or see woman, Ghana Commercial Bank, Sikase, woman fact, Gisanian Cosro. Nasa say, goose cosro. Nasa driver funtiminto. That car won't not grant him in totai. And not this a tire. Driver need your come back with Juma. That the agent Kosia was a driver near Kunka, a Kumunipa. Budget a week here or the court magazine. Yes, see a Motuma driver in non Fankoya Juma. Now then, you see Nakumunipa. Then your man in the one trust. And in the end, yes, opportunity Papa GPS for. I don't know what can you know. And the end, and I want to support 2 women and your present. And it is a what they say. Yaja Tuma, Yaja Tum say 20%. Your lolly station. Obi bisa say terminal ni abanda ai this year wo Ghana nyina terminal abanda ye man enu ti district assemblies no agi esika awo to ye tuatua de wram ansa na ye ni union fo na nkasa so ye ni ade dia boy na nkasa ye na wo bra enu ti ni ye twa roadway income tax ni ade nyina ye twa ani ye de ma ban ansa na petrol na ansa na bam enti ni ye ka ne de enye se ebia mpanyinfo no wonim de na mom se obi pese obi kwasia no na ye to ama no wo de wo pese wo ye PRO ma transport ministry our transport ministry wo on PRO no mekasa na wo bekasa man dia ana kone wo mo adwuma na transport officers so ye wo mo adwuma
Tema na monyini say 20% na do so dodo because bosume mi ensantemu ani ne yetu mu 15% a just Ghana for ho kire wo mo ne ade 20 na eno so dodo
me manu kwa me kasa ma kire nga me ba ko school aka we say office ama saman egom road moko every day me used to take this to the man this year na me press asem no aba you na wuli into baba kunti na tuma nwu check 30% to rest manu kwa na ka wo 10% be say to 13% because of say obi ato ade be so nya fashion 40% wo de can say 13% kind of ready to do you have any woman or person basa edemba what to work I'm a driver for you have 10% what to work 20% and you be na wo di edi and a driver for yes you hu you ba tan you be can because 10% one carry I'm running so much maybe I work Ghana na when name inside was 10% that driver for security what kuma 40% that driver for as the world was a drama. Drama for that came to separate. Woman do work and pay you on some car. What do you mean, dear? So when you feel to him, a background. 170 Ghana cities million song. Why say 200? Now why not? A bit of fuel, 70 Ghana. Why say fuel? Obey you know, no, you just tell me. Osuma Yasuma, man, Bakuna get 15%, like a 10 and a year to me. What do you mean, say, also, Pato? You have to go back to the other. And the government by not about one year to do a matter of this time, or this is the first time. And that's the cracker chance to hear you, or you too much.
As I say, see, we kind there, not just say, I buy to 2 for move 40%, you know. Also, swash into idea more to move 35%, you. Oh. So at the end of the day, you know, I babe go Ghana for ya, so ya catch you, so you're true, money at Yana, different.
And no killer. I do my opinion catch you on my opinion. Say, Nana, it's a bit to me. That's not that make our woman. In fact, to be so, so, and I love any back from my media. That was to market you because it's a lot of cost. It be a cost. Upa gabe ni aye jumeri no so koto dokoro ba ko rolling station e electricity so one ton na me no one ton kuma for we ti ni e bia papa ni ka sa sam yana ni je he ka ho no kran ka mi president kran ka onye bibia an kata ase mate be juro na o jira o ka tre yen na fo nyina se o t-shirts and so of lose 4 billion. Na anya dem afọ na tu abarama o na ye see ahụ chiri yen eni nti ye decide say dia to anima nka so o jira na nka say ikani nti da na fọ nkwa ahụ chiri
na alaji ai pa wili dia mi bi sa chiri ma dwen kakra ne say won say every bra mo je 15% ye to mo 15% e de ma mo no e fa say 3 months ago every sabra na ba no fuel price na ya sa to mo be empedo do sen.
The customer to come here to Lord Film person. A 799. And then a 11 20%. And we are going to 10. Total 11 20%. Ubua a 51 cedi 20 something percent. And you shot. Because say another that's come here to Lord Film. Now 34 Ghana cedi. It was 340 cedi. And now they would have found about 16 cities in other dazzle. 1 gallon. It is never the total gallons. I am in other dazzle.
And then I may be say 20% and no so release in Catain be a one. Kagana for so much to Kakra.
Many one patrol no.
And who pa
different. Probably so kind of it. And that is the I had the sister yen fuel yen can. Tell money at the credit, and we intimate. Well, Ubisa, and 1.2, 120, now then you're 27 cities. Now you're 50 and about 70 and about 90. They say 1.2. And if who would tell this, that one, you're because you're costing your treatment and another for Krana, when we say 20% is fat.
Hey, 29 year printers one as answer.
Linia, and not be happy basin. One time, with Sabakumo. One more one borga, a dimuto 5,000. I said, what you do, I said, oh, what you have to better 3,000 so that can't be this thing.
Yo, Alaji, hey, I don't know from Alaji, Pa Willie. Mammy say, I sent you a dear Dabene, I shall say I have Juma because you have to send ne.
I shall see on the 7th for no. Now, I never call and say, Lord said the bar. Ubu, and then a bar in the station road, look at him in your tree. The may have a washi. If we do what we translate with your static, and so near here, and the on the 7th for no air, doesn't mean no air Saturday, and if you have to the day, and you're never your point. You go confirming, can you please to me that the woman and the animal and the assassin 20% and also. And the men who can say, Upa, the GPRC PRO, Abbas, and Asame, who don't pay you for the ground from what you are saying. Mimic the table movie. I'm a PRO, no radio station, the minute I'm a friend, I can't be kind of all country a man or something that I'm a man. And the more from now, I'm so much at the movie, I'm going to allow the tanko.
Yo.
No, your person Ghana for the near Koso. No, be able to say, I didn't enyaba. Me say, and Madina, and my Bisanka one Ankasa who was filling station. And the about because that was for Nakasake.
Yo.
And my Mammy, don't you say, also, Papa.
Midini ye biama. Na ready I pa will was say midino papa esa me charge o. Ai. Me da sipi so ajibe ni edin komo.
Me so me da se na me da me tie fo nyina ase sa driver for yesre 20% ni. Ma obi nye moroso. Obi fu car no na hwe na sa da no. Onim na wa betoma na wa favor. Na nzo passenger zo favor obi wa kan ma. Na nzo be ka say o me so me tie na akwa to kwa be yesre.
Entokwa ne de nya ba wie atwede ankrofo bo e wo trotro mu no nya asem ketwa dia ba wie
wo se no ka se wo ne commercial bank be kasa na wo ma mo dollars e fi wo no wetina e bi wonya no so mayen na enkofa how ma.
Okay, yo, yada CP Wile chairman the Concerned Drivers Association of Ghana and non out here in come beginning ne PRO David Agbado ye ne twetwe nkomo na am se chairman hwe ba bia nkomo de ka kona ahwa na ogi phone no e no se fabra na mento asonti ye dikani David Agbado PRO the Concerned Drivers Association of Ghana twetwe nkomo na afi ye ne chairman akasa nso eto aso me mainti na waso egu a otie no was so ego out in a higher neat 100.9 FM. Say Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council. One more can say Ghana for and disregarded transport ye first as they say yeah didn't born a Costronia deno. Akwa Daniel Butu. Akwa Daniel Butu because yeah transport operators no so Omako press conference say Woma to 20%. Woman Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council in Niasem. Papa muno ebeboa yen ana afa yen hwe ye say de ye pem so enterprise pa Ghana ye din foforo no ye pem so enterprise utility service providers wo mo so ECG ene Ghana Water BRA NEDCO obia so e the proposed increment of tariffs or the aba na Ghana Water for say anko mu nya ya anka yen to ensuo buomu 334%. 334%. Well, yen blemu womo. E blemu womo kura enye yie. Yen ya eni blemu ye. Afa ECG fo anso se womo nya ya anka yentum light mu 148%. You can't blame them either. NEDCO for Northern for no development is a company and a corporation. NEDCO for also say Womo nyaya nkia to 113%. Ena VR for the say nyaya nka 37% yentum emfa ema won. Ore services sa utility companies womo provide edema omanfo a anya bia sa increment ya womo hwehwe. Womo deserve anase yenye womo den. I think sempanyufo pia no pay ye bra na menua bema osi abagiti adwam ye ne Kofi Kapito Consumer Protection Agency ye no on di nkomo mo say mo de companies akese na de mo ka mo chiri se mo bechi wo so akwaji musika enti mo nkwajeje mo gigi wie na anso a na afi mabe bisa for increment na ye de kakra asoso amamo afi ye hwe close agfo yi wo mo da so strike you wo mo nkwa adwuma Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana. Na no woman Local Government and Rural Development Committee a Parliament kokohia Emma Local Government Committee the omo gidie ma pase nkoma woman ne close akampanyifo no edi ye ne mu die biebe emfaso be firi mu aba anya bia saa na beko no na se wo mu firi enhyiamu na se ekoduru fie no wo masan amadwene asan asesa we ne nsama hodo e na wie ye ba besini nyina koso na yetimi ebobo ho ne ahwe bia ebeko akoduru na sesi anom panyimfo a ebeboa me ye honorable Benjamin aye ane NPP mrashebedwene ewo Apadencha West oha sanso ena menua Bema Sylvester Sapon Soprano CPP Director of Communications ono so maybe san CPP ne mu adwo ama sesi wo mbe ye prime minister na de na ebekoso nyina ebedi he won komo ede aka ho menua Bema mi hu na che na mafe no Victor Kwashi Adonu NDC Communications team member ono so nyame adom ababeka ye ho ewa ha membanyu for me. Hey, I don't know.
Yeah, Biams.
Honorable.
But my
friend. Nyame adom honorable ye pem so. So. Aye yewi. Yeah, share my mention see.
Biams bantel you can say aye yewi.
Amen kan say.
Bebrebe our fama wi. Come on with you na. Aye yewi. Ene kan me mfa ebe ye ne.
Victor matwetwe bi nkonso hwe Mr. Ma mention see free menua Bema Soprano so concerning ye transport ho sensem say ase wantwi aba beda Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council no womo ene transport operators na entem ama just ministry no kra ya te no ato ba bi kra it is say transport operators no en womo no say womo so de womo ho eti ni on be ya ebeboa womo na ahokyera womo fam no aba fam no eno ho na mo no womo etu they say the transport affairs no yatum
Hello, Eba. Okay. Oh, your party ngui be he oba nyame nhyira na mechia Ghana fo nyina ne CPP fo nyina na enne nkomodie na yedi no udi nkomo wo telephone so no na me bom paye na emse mesre Ghana fo nyina se mumyensi abotre yensi abotre ne yenye calm kakra because the country is clearly in crisis. Me no baby amete no. It seems to me, say the new patriotic party under President Akufo-Addo has lost control of the economy. That is my opinion. Baby, I'm a no. Me share in seminar air course na. See, our drivers special mukase omo yedi omo pe. Despite protocols in Shishaya did that. Now we share say Glock Sack 4 cost strike. Any the eco course na. I'm afraid for Ghana. Eti me person can me catch Ghana for amuti nyina say yes obi anya calm kakra na ye mompa ma the Republic of Ghana na say Nyankopon be ma President of Ghana extraordinary insight any wisdom na wetimi handle crisis here ye komu because more than that
you say you hear pragmatic measures you be putting in place and action be
and no and America say yensi abotre But still, no, we need to pray without ceasing. Now, your mom said the president will have a certain extraordinary divine blessing. Bina ni team no. We have the men no, unfortunately. Say my bono. Our situation no abaye the iron because it's getting out of hand. So Oba, we are in a crisis. So as a member of the CPP, no, the question I'm busa me who first of all, they say, what would President Kwame Nkrumah have done? I don't know. Me to me tima. Ana me say Ghana for yenye calm kakra.
What about the beba? The bia de ba kwa ya me wo CPP ho ne say. The bia Kwame Nkrumah. Say the crop of people are your war CPP. E dien bibi sonko na mo be ye. Senka mo na mo power say what different thing are you going to do as an implementer? Ghana for one.
Thank you for that question. And I'll go back to saying, I ask myself, what would President Kwame Nkrumah have done? What would our President Kwame Nkrumah have done? Because President Seyenyan or country, and it is clear that he's the best thing that ever happened to us. I mean, can you compare the current president to the President Kwame Nkrumah? And see, I ask myself, because the President Kwame Nkrumah offer a crime biso, and see, we need to ask ourselves, what would the founder of the republic have done? So I say, now you're because it seems to me, sir, we have the men, no, or my bonia or muntimi and solve a problem, no. To begin with, no, so here situation now, it looks like at the moment, no, it all boils down to petrol prices now. And I'm saying no, and the centerpiece of our current predicament. So now me share the current leadership of the country now. I'm sorry to say, they seem to lack ideas. So in resolving this issue, I now would see New Patriotic Party for communicators are. But that is not necessarily the case. I'm pointing to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Russia president say or undertaking special military operation in Ukraine. And the person say no, and our country no my but are aware say United States and NATO, EU for sanctions are to Russian oil so no, and our oil market na are tight. And oil also a market in because US okoto oil say Ghana koto oil or Russia ebia US be sanctions. So by and so again I say, what would President Kwame Nkrumah have done? You see, we talk about the non-aligned movement. Tama President Kwame Nkrumah CPP or government now you're non-aligned for a reason. We look neither left, we look neither right, we look forward. So when I say President Akufo-Addo Waka say we are allied to the US. Waka sada. And now Wakofa US for troops, US military living in Ghana right now. So, but there's a way out. And I'm surprised that the president, well, I'm not surprised. When I look at the posture of the New Patriotic Party and the leader of Ghana at the moment, I'm not surprised. Where Russia or say we will give preferential oil prices to friendly countries. So India, China, Omoto Petrol, or Russia with 25% discount. And more. It is time. We are in a crisis in this country. The president of Ghana should contact President Putin and ask for a preferential petrol price for Ghana. And a key here because Russia is ready to do that. But I know that the New Patriotic Party and President Akufo-Addo are likely afraid because of they have tied themselves at the waist, at the hip. They have tied. We are Siamese twins to American foreign policy, and it is killing us. So I want to say country to the stage I feel driver for so mo yedi omope. Na so mo sha CSR na obiati o manmu ese wo yedi opa. Then we are inviting chaos, and that is why I'm appealing to the Drivers Association in Ghana and to the citizenry of this country to remain calm. And despite the fact that we don't have much faith in the ability of President Akufo-Addo and his economic management team to handle the situation, they are all we've got. So I must say 4 more. Move to my see people, must say 4 more. And so we are stuck with them until 2024. And we have to pray. We have to pray that the president can rise up to the occasion. So because it's a situation now, your woman says here now, it is just terrible. President, drivers catch and say anti-petrol, also what is 4 billion. But it looks like he must do something about it because we are headed on a terrible trajectory. One here the chaos. And a back room, one who say utility companies, I say person to tumba is saying, a bit 300%. Any other. And at the same time, last time I meet here, Penibia or no names were in charge of state-owned companies. And now all can say, BBT say electricity companies, you know, and not saying first when you go for BD, in Penifoni BD, but no, I can't be say ECG, say no, on true market price for ECG, for electricity now, year consumer, no. So,
price.
Oh no, I can't be able to say so ECG for
that's almost subsidized.
Yes. So what kind of true price? Yes. So what kind of true prices are yentimi kra. But having said that, no, so we share the Akufo-Addo administration. You see, Ghana are in a state of upheaval right now. Obi abuafu because President Nika says no akwa rent expensive aeroplane at the trips. So we share president in the lifestyle now or say Ghana for a criminal and we share the flamboyancy of President Akufo-Addo living the highfalutin life like an Arabic sheikh, president of Ghana, living an extraordinary bourgeoisie lifestyle. Yeti krom hanum. Now we very well aeroplane. Now boys, eda so the kiosk mu. Eko toilet wo kiosk num. Ewo krom I won crying. So what I say baby am tie across so down money toilet impo. Baby am tete. Now president catch and say yen tighten your belt. That's one to me. Ya. We share chief executive officers of state-owned companies. Say we be say Cocoa director mo any sika pudio. Omoji. Omuntia light bill. Omuntia water bill. Omunto petrol. Ewo kroma. Omuntia rent. What I say? Just a BBA free house boy. Atadie kra wo okotono. Yes, I man clothing allowance on Frankota Atadie. We share the right honorable speaker of parliament. Said yeah, we see one of the richest people in Ghana. We top 1% our count. Now no yaria sika ye triano bosome unemployed for in yaria ye kokwa lebu. Now speaker yaria or ko Dubai na nya no mpo ne yasema ni sika so on Franco Dubai and Costa no yaria. And we need a fundamental rethink of the remuneration package in this country because the ordinary people of Ghana no veranda boys and girls no we are in dire straits. Ye whoopa
unyi ne say changing and as amend and throwing away our constitution no also
please yes sir at the massive chaos tie ajobre oba Ghana for yenye calm na yen mom pa yen ma president Akufo-Addo. Of course we don't have faith in his economic management team but they are all we've got. So when we say na say want a vice president Bawumianka omo nyina to nwurem because omo policies na no omo so omo de be ye adwuma no enye adwuma. We have the men say no mabon
me da say soprano na what say career soprano yes na ni atete because who say niema honorable
no call for calm no
osu
we have the men say no mabon
obi anyway we are so wabon
yo mini aba
honorable bajo ye
mini aba that's the dikan me chia no atie ene menuanom farasi fo menuanom no on say na say na mo humi wa ha edu bribi na mbese mi ja radio so because said the na Dr. Kumbo Ekan we have become nation of talkers
sana no abomu e
o say
na sana Ghana
Dr. Kumbo onye MPP ni Dr. Kumbo onye MPP ni I see we pay people to talk instead of say you better not say I think they have solutions to a problem eban. Dr. Kumbo ye NDC ni. So a minister. In fact, you're more penny phone pa. You know both sides. I'm say no pa. So do be an amen in the yard drink. In your platforms ni say ye kasa bo ye ntumi nipa be kasa be we ntumi so ntumi prescribe even one solution. Ye chichiro man sanso a enye yi. Ka media ne be boyen as o man am shift this political discourse no kakra
solution based
exactly nipa ne betena say instead of be shout bo no asori akon talk is cheap. If I come and sit here now all I can do is to talk about complain about problems now obi anim no a then na maye for example start here okasa be na bisa say na mo there I say Nkrumah Kobeni say na say otwe na adwene ba say Nkrumah is dead and gone. Wo na wo and then now wo ye yi no. Problem aban ye the share won sa. O solution ne saying. No, I go back to Nkrumah. Nkrumah can say. Meaning say he has no solution himself. He has no clue on how to resolve the issues at stake today. Nkrumah Kobechiwa Preventive Detention Act. Who say Kobechiwa is that the way to go? No. That is not the way to go. We don't believe in that. I say yes. Solutions they are doing any back for 3 more. The diagnosis will be. He said, "Minutia." Na mu say we need solution to idea that you discuss. Na ka say mu bi die na yanko kiyanko hwa. Na me why I should continue having a discussion with you. Look, then me can say, I don't know there's crisis. Na Nkrumah or be compare Nkrumah ne Akufo-Addo. Hey, masa, na wo na tia Nkrumah time and can say wo tia wa no je. Did we have this freedom to even express our views? Now what that chance? Why bad you are afraid of him or her? Because okote to kire Nkrumah say asema wo ka ofie tia Nkrumah ni a ade abekini abetam wakotum. And in the 21st century, this is what you are preaching for. This is what you're preaching for. Meanwhile, so Ghana still remains a member of non-aligned. But I can bet you, say, giving between Russia and the rest of the world, because this year basically what is going on is Russia versus virtually the rest of the world. If they want to choose to be on the side of Russia, oh please, Okasa, open. Preferential treatment, what does that mean? It means you are going along with them, going for their 25% discount. At what cost? At what cost? And then beyond what sit down? I had the calculation to the nation, the cost to the nation. As the 25% discount crude oil versus what perhaps we stand to lose from the rest of the world. Have you done that calculation? The opportunity cost, have you done it? Then just because transport sector, turbulence kakrabaho, and as a closer for aqua striking tea. Hey, what's your mem now? You don't want to be realistic. Say, because striker. I don't know. News? A democratic right. We don't get solution. But that was okay. President BIAMAH, President Mahama time crowd also only the wire dead go syndrome. The strike in who and Jaffe the Moka and Fano. But I don't know fast solution I know fast solution may your comparisons yes CPP and DC. That's a oh please. Would they do so?
Victor, put it down if you have anything.
I thought a Madrid
chance so
that Madrid corner. I'm not saying that ya papa na me answer no. Me answer me new CPP no. O papa na me ma pen e bi na da. Yeah, kakere grounds of hope. Intolerance. I mean address which facts. Facts according to who understanding of what is fact. Fact according to who understanding of facts are now. Minya, the main topic na dia man. You say transport union for no. And on person we increase your price. Price on person we increase no. Arbitrary on person we increase. And under civil me who the right word cross him use. Ya ye ni pay ya tiasia or say bet nasin ya hwe nyoma ye be ye will be governed by rules, regulations and laws. Is that the way to go? Is that the way to go? Say enyembiano driver for omu union no kwa ebetumi akotena se no maka say be efi ene ekopim wachina ya to prices mu. And is that the way to go? Eno be boaye ana. Inti adeche, for example, to say the ever say PURC, friends, utility providers in so no, do proposal aircon. Na come so don't propose a coin and a PURC for accept the entire and that's almost we don't.
Honorable, on some say they've written over 4 letters to the ministry. None of them responded.
what's the difference between first body and everything saying? Coalition for
Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council.
Omo purpose ni day. Association and you're governed by law. Papa be I'm not sure will be me correct me if it is governed by law, but from where I sit now, I'm sure say governed by law, but a convention. And now all this one, this is the body I'm saying negotiate for this, transport
operators. No?
Exactly.
But according to Nipana and Nekasa,
I'm saying all this one. Yeah.
They were who say eba together to fight.
Together.
Ghana Road Transport Coordinating Council. Any
transport is made up of
the transport operators. No?
Yes.
But later they realized, say,
yes,
the one who was in charge of the GRTCC,
yes,
was doing the bidding of the ministry instead of fighting for the cause of the operators. They decided to ignore.
Internally, and a dispute about.
Sure.
If I say Bianca, Ghana Registered Nurses Association, now almost executives, akwe negotiation be a body na kasano and you're happy with it. You're happy with it. To begin with, that's an internal issue. Just a moment tenacity. That's the impossible executives no and now we vote, we pass a vote of no confidence in them. No more you are now more the new yaba. You don't go and sit somewhere now because any now we don't belong to that body view. Yes, yeah, I dare bet you no another body so as a na sprinter bodies ekoso basa na ana nti ase bet my adwuma yi ana. Meanwhile, this is a body so the ntia me feel say better. The one resolve internal issues no. It is when you have resolved internal issues now, and I'm only the other party. In this case, the ministry. So the no. Okay. That should be the way to go. Because you find say muchia bina yebenu aduane also. Muchia nano 3. In this case, the ministry and as a minimum GPRTU. No, GPRTCC. And no, any these 3 bodies negotiate. Into mochia ne nine baako and a bua. What do? You fix it. We fix it. So that's while I'm in the position of somebody fixing now pieces na bubunugu home no person the other 2 legs of Muchiano should be dealing with each of the pieces now bana. Yes, no don't forget to say. He said no all can. Okay? Mo baby am parking mo cars no. Loading stations no. Even the road na mo nam so no nyamodia. Baby am koye mo dwuma na ankasa no. Unlike other private companies I work Ghana ha mo a. Look, friends say Neat FM wa ha na say despite media wa hey asase e wa ha ene dan amotitim bibia ya modia. One road ni nyamodia ukotua road worthy said they should know say enye road na utua ka o. You are paying for a certificate indicating say okano are good enough to be on the road. You are not paying for the road. He should not be talking about that. Also, what omutia tax? Who does not pay tax on his income by law in this country? Why entry? Into that again, and say you paying for the road. This idea betche not road new and say okay, fine. Also for our car. You are not going to use my road. And can also then beba. To me, one of 2 things. And also one, omuma adrebrel embra on side. Yanhwe na the usual MPP and this year the be kasa. Yet to nyoma mu ha affect you bia. Be affect you bia. Omon try to resolve that issue. No mun go back to the council negotiation table. Now you agree on something. 2. Yes, 2 name last time because 1 of 2 solutions I may recommend because then I can come with a solution. 2. A brasso. Say as on mine, we call the bluff of this so-called private transport union. By say you better take your public transport system no serious.
The public transport.
It didn't make us a brasso. So sometimes we learn from something. Now, your ginaso at the I take it, yes, I find solutions. Yeah. Because now almost say, look at the other time, they had the guts say because strike no oma any part of strike no ye dwuma kra no mo stop them cars no the nyoma boom and all those kinds of things the ye and as o man ye ni abre and ye wo efficient public transport ye dwuma both the rails and the metros and what have you ye dwuma and can ye be need the OCC an until going forward no I believe say American a brasso and yes I have and then you beat their politics MPP and this year don't forget that this is not the first time and this is time e be to MPP time e be atu yen ochina e be san asibio enti yen resolve this issue as yen find permanent solution. Long-term solution, and that long-term solution as far as I'm concerned from where I sit and they say you better develop a efficient public transport system adechi na buses in am kwanso and a railway and am a year and can these people can they take the nation for ride our way.
Nonia Semono, Honorable Benjamin Aye, and Otenen Kana. Victor.
James. I mean, for Quenya in a fanchia, what tea for Nina, our bonting ho, away. Na men Sanchia Minuanum. Honorable woman, Sandy Fansone, Minua Bema from CPP. Now, one kasa. Last week, Namua, and I win here. To cut long story short, Mbrencha, Emma Obia. And His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, baby Obia, Messemechiano, Party Manina, NDC, Party Manina, Echia Obia, Ewe. Mimia, Ba. Asame Adapun so I can't was away. Yes, ye answer. And so say ye day akakaben some any a bosso asem and not a solve this problem. Utie meba wakwamuna mitio kakra na we interview this transport operators leadership nibi na utie omokasa. In fact, me honorable starte ne kasa na me expose ono wama solutions so fanse mo kan nyina. He started by first and foremost attacking the miniabemo woman that be ne CPP rep in Samoka. That was what Soprano. Honorable immediately started attacking him. No, all Kaba say, all Kasano say, and Kankruma and Kobe CSA. And he ended up talking about Nkrumah and Kaire and Waire and Kawachiwatum. What presswa a year, your friend is a democratic dispensation. I will say. Nkrumah was an authoritarian. And from the other side, okay. We all saw things in Nkrumah. A big guzu or how many in a area. More banda, His Excellency Nanado Dankwa. More promise a lot of heaven. And a more number. More fairly than a for that is why we are today. Otumi kase mwabong no kreso mwabong. Because I'm more now to me criticizing Nkrumah. Somewhere along the line, all the John Mahama bem, and I make me person me put in the right that unfortunately I'm say we'll move on without coming that line. Meaning by if this is what he says, Nkrumah kawachi watuma, and then say obi monoma o minister bi ananiema bi nkoyi, what do? Don't you crack the whip for us to see? If you are not arresting, you crack the whip. Say a serious country, and then operators say throw several letters to the ministry for them to meet the minister. How many weeks? How many months? One must say he has never responded. He has never met them. He has never availed himself to meet them. The president will be ordering, and this is what has been the situation out there. Are you with me? The point now, omo man, and I say, Jina swa omudi tum about 20%. No, are they right or wrong? Is it true, sir? Petrol prices now have gone up. Is it true, sir? Workers in this country have also demanded what their salary increment. According to Honorable Hano, drivers, transport operators, A quine no lorry quine and yomodia. Now no, they're not buying a lorry quine and idea. It's honorable telling us here today, say, if drivers or transport operators of this land or commercial transport operators, lorry quine no mutua roadworthy, etua we now say roadworthy pena o mutua but they a quine in yomodia. Adiechina the quine and the also no so genequa. Who says that when you are in government or you are the head of government, you are the owner? Please, honorable. When you were speaking, I kept quiet here. I quoted you and I'm right. I have never misquoted you.
You are misquoting me because if you don't know the difference between the state and the government, I give you a clear line.
So when you talk about the state, when you talk about
road belongs to the state.
So when the road belongs to the state,
that is what I said. Don't misquote me.
And so that is exactly what I'm explaining.
There's a difference between the state.
So who is the state? Who is the state?
The state is the country.
Good. And not see.
The government is the party.
And now let me ask you.
The road belongs to the state.
And does the transport operators part of the state?
Yes, that is why you.
So what are you saying?
You don't unilaterally. Therefore,
from their sector, as far as their sector is concerned, are they part of the state or not? So what is he saying? What is he defending? Say Kakabin Semsa. What say you have decided not to come on radio again?
Because people like you.
If the kitchen is too hot for you, when you were in opposition, some of the things you had said to even the sitting government, some of the criticisms you profess out there. Today you are in government, you are sitting here, you are telling us that what? You don't come on air. What are we saying here which is not rational? James, and some are make cases here. Am I not on point? You can't I thought you said Okasa, we should keep quiet. We have kept quiet. I don't know. I mean explaining. The solutions are there. I'll get there. I'm building my point. So allow me. Biams. All my main kasa say that is why it's just one more bone.
I don't know to ask somebody.
Meaning say me that time and build the point I want to build. But let me pick them intermittently. Miniaba. What no more? Come. Let me even cry me no say. Do you know say Biams electricity company, even though they are demanding that percentage, of increment, do you know say you are too electricity more already long ago? They had, but they have no informers.
That is not true.
Tell me if I'm lying. Biams.
That is not true. There is no way electricity company makes me have to price more than PURC.
Oh, Biams.
Inform yourself before you come and misinform.
Why won't you keep quiet?
Energy committee for 12 years, and I know say electricity company unilaterally to me increase the price.
I can do more than you are doing. I said I can do more than you are doing. But why is he not allowing me to speak?
Honorable.
Are you the host?
Honorable Pacho.
Are you the host?
Honorable Pacho. Honorable.
Let me get straight to what should have been the solution. Because all Mami Kasa. But I wanted to also pick him by his words.
Let me make it clear, say, utility companies, utilities.
The point I'm making is that you compare your usage of power as at, let's say, late last year to that of this year. What I buy, I use prepaid. So the time, the duration within which talking about 200 Ghana cedis, the duration I take it now it is what? It's not like that. I have the right. Why are you crying? Why? What is your problem?
I don't know. Victor.
That is the rationality, the rational way I'm making.
Utility companies me utilities move without our knowledge or the knowledge of the PURC.
I am telling you, are a journalist. You are seasoned one for that matter. My making point. Are you with me? Go and also do a research and find out whether that has happened or not. Are we not here? This government, don't they? Are we not here when a minister, a minister of health, I with me, was called before Parliament when he went to buy, your friend is saying, vaccines for Ghana without going through the PURC, without going through the appropriate quarters. Are we not here? Wasn't he dragged to Parliament? What has been done to him? And is it news that they do what they do outside passing through the proper channel or the procurement process. Until what is he defending? What at all is my brother defending here? This government always tell we Ghanaians, say, move to me, so you can always have your say. But when it is our way, we will have our way. Even implementation of e-levy, the processes it went through, near Koye, how the president of the day has sent on even the approval that came from parliament, etc., etc. Despite emra, they are not concerned about the feelings of Ghanaians. The price increase out there when it comes to transport. Ghanaians are not against the transport operators. So they are not.
I think so.
They perfectly understand, sir. You see, the real price that needs to be charged by the transport operators was long overdue. 3 months, few months ago, increment there by
15%.
It took them several months. The normal discussions that has to go on between Omo and Abino. Abai keep on what? Dragging its feet in terms of meeting them. But Omo person who impose a tax on yen there. They want to do it there the time they want. They can do that. Because like he said, they are the owners of the roads. And some people are not. That is why they have that.
He didn't say that.
Indirectly, that's what it means.
He said the roads are for the state.
They are for the state. And I'm saying, is the transport operators not part of the state? What is he talking about? And in the nutshell, Miniaba, the reason why the transport operators can say on authority today and not ready to meet government, are you with me? Before coming out with what this press conference, and for that matter coming with the 20%, is because they've lost confidence in the leadership. If I shouldn't call it state, they are upper state. But they are the owners of the state. The government, that is how they see the state. But I am part of the state. Biams, you are part of the state. Mm-hmm. All of us sitting here are part of the state. That means if the
drivers are negotiating something, they should do it in the interest of the state.
Of the state. And I'm telling you, sir, there are meetings with the government to agree for them to come with their a price has been long, but they keep on dragging their feet. But when they are being advised, the same transport operators had written to government asking government to reduce or take off some of the tax components when it comes to the fuel price. Have they heard to that? They are able to come out and say we'll be losing this, we'll be losing that, we'll be losing that. Almost say the fuel price is determined by the world price. Meanwhile, say world price in the Kosra. Hello. Mm-hmm. We are also a nation that yes, we do oil maybe. It means there will always be a windfall. If what? The price goes up. Adena buying or drinking and Ghanaians are suffering. And they know use some of those windfall to cushion the price of what? The fuel. Especially when they told Ghanaians to say when it was 14 thereabout cedis per gallon. Are you with me? Omo catch Ghana for say NDC for. Omo ye widi for. Na ye ba fuel price ye better so. Today the fuel price has escalated from that 14 or 16 Ghana cedis between to 52 Ghana cedis per gallon today. And there are means to meet a cushion Ghanaians by taking off some of the tax element. I know they are also untie. I don't know yes we young road in the so-called state owners in Samotra because we are all members. But we can't take the law into our own hands. Honorable, one of the measures a bit me abua Ghana for price no of transport fares no aba form is for you to go and make sure you advise government or advise the leadership to reduce or take off some of the tax element on what our fuel price. That is one. But secondly, you must listen. They must have a listening ear. Nothing be right. Are you with me? Na se mo ye na enko yi a even cry world internationally they come with data and they instead of them coiling back into their shells. Na omo hu say efutu a ye de amama na nsem a ya kan omo be fa in good faith na one more bro once ye tie no they always defend the wrong or the odd. And when it end up staring at them, one more they cause na koshe or my I mean we are seeing in our thing. When just around some of the countries, we are seeing what happens in Togo. We're seeing what even in Burkina Faso, where we have a military rule. Are you with me? Freedom, any to and fro, our Burkina Faso, Papa Saint Ghana.
Meda Sipi Victor Adonu Kwashi. And Oten and Kano. And as Kumsinos, good afternoon, Mami AKWAFO. I'm watching you live from Sacramento Estate. God bless you for the good work you are doing. As a man ventures, I urge PRC not to accept Electricity Company of Ghana increment in tariffs and Ghana Water Company because we are in hardship already. And if they accept it and increase water and electricity, it will bring more hardship to the good people of Ghana. They should not accept their proposal. Regards to Kwabena Abankwa, Yebua Salisu Setre. And what the ECG has no business in increasing tariffs. They should simply recover debts owned them by major state institutions and block the loopholes. Bouncing back together. Hey, Oyibo Boat saying, government should do something about the transport fares because Ghanaians are bitterly complaining of hardship. Greetings to lawyer Justin Kodua Frempong. Yawuza Swame. And was undeniably things are a little bit hard. And I sympathize with those complaining of economic hardship due to global recession and the COVID-19 pandemic and its ripple effects. But let's keep faith with the MPP and out our shoulders to the wheel, and we shall surely bounce back stronger than before. Greetings to hope in hope. Positive change. If a minister can just stop the collection of road tolls in this country without parliamentary approval, why can't President Mahama also repeal or stop the collection of obnoxious e-levy when he wins power 2024? Isaac Segu, Dansu Shegu. Good afternoon. And I'll say Isaac from Tema. In fact, NPP government under Nanado is not good at all. Hernandez, Fidel, Hayford. And I'll say good afternoon. Dr. Freya Koto has proven to be very hardworking and achievable agriculture minister of this republic. Dr. Freya Koto has achieved a lot and his track record is unmatched. He deserves to replace Nanado come 2024 and be Ghana's next president. Virgin Che Mensa, watching you live from Akrokere, Kaswa, American Town, Kinke House. Let us all have trust and confidence in His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the MPP government because they will use the e-levy money for its purpose of development. So we shouldn't listen to the propagandist NDC party. Home Mensa Pillar 2. JM and NDC can never do anything for Ghana. Let's support Nana Baumia for a better Ghana. Regards to Professor Christopher Ameyokunfi. Lutrot, Eric. Hey, now Lutrot, who the idea of thesis Sankasa? Looking at the country general, no presidential aspirant is worth contesting. They are all responsible for where we are now. We have found ourselves today. They all have contributed to the fall of our economy and social values. The same people, same tricks, same system. Truth be told, we as people are not ready to erect positive change and governance in this country, as we are yet to understand the power of unity and integration. Everyone thinks we cannot change government and governance. That is where we got it wrong. Power is with the majority, not the minority. We and only we have the true power to wake up, So wake up from your slumber. Lillian Akosia Bediako, Ghanaians, we need to fast for Russia and Ukraine war to end by force. Else this country would be sold under President Akufo-Addo. Everything keeps going up. Water, electricity, food, toilet to transportation. Abba, NPP, Adain. Sneida Ofosohene. Good day, good people of Ghana. I'm Kofi Fosu, Kaswa Manfrum. Consistently, NPP is proving to the world that they are better than NDC in various angles. Infrastructure and many more roads. Okay. Noah the Ark Builder. Mama Biamzi, let me give you this message to send to the incompetent one. That Baumia Alan will fall him down flat come 2024 general elections. So the NDC communications langars should stop fighting the Methodist bishop for saying a harmless truth, the dead goats. Osei Kweku, indeed, Ghana is facing the battle of lawlessness. Our regulatory institution seems to be weak. Therefore, each and every one seek to do things as they wish. We need to revive our regulatory institutions to ensure measures are being carried out accordingly. Osekweku UK NOD free by Benjamin Abanga NOC. Good afternoon, Mami Soja. Please, this increment of transport fares will even kill us all. Mami Soja, how the situation is going on now, the driver union should stop increasing the fare by percentages, but rather numbers. For instance, we should say those collecting 1 Ghana to 5 Ghana should increase by 20 pesos in order. Benjamin, and also suggestions for the Abba and no. Ojo Amedome, and also good afternoon, NIT FM M90 family. Joseph Nabila France, Liberal Party of Ghana, LPG. Wafake, New Plan Station, Mami BIAMAH, please. The CPP man in your studio is NDC panelist, or greetings to Honorable Moses Abo, or your CPP Director of Communications. On can be BIAM fan support to NDC. Danny Damasi Samuel. No, so good afternoon, Mami BIAMAH. I really love your name. Watching you live from Kochi. What the CPP guy is saying is good, but we need to tackle it in a holistic approach. America and Russia alliance is a big topic to be discussed. So help us God. Musa Abatwa, Mamifa and Musa Diana sorry, Chiremiba, Omo Dia Baname Diaka. What at all is happening in this country? Is it that we don't have leaders at all, or we have smoke screens who cannot think outside the box? People are suffering, and as a government, you don't add taxes and increase basic necessities to make them suffer more. That's exactly what AKWAFO and Baumia are doing. Now, electricity is going to go up by 148%, and water is also increased by what? 334% too, and yet 150% as you have written. Voting for NPP is, okay, Ghana is indeed on the crossroad, and only the intervention of God and heroic JM can save us. Meba. When I give you a topic, any other time, no bet CBB everywhere. That one there is your own. Ebusian for me 19 was so egua wuti and yen share. Yes, second topic, utility service providers have sent proposals to the Public Utility Regulatory Commission, that's authority. The omunya yank and to farmer we share service providers, the omode my they deserve that's a proposal they yajiatu. But thank you yajiatu mua they deserve that percentage. ECG 148%, Ghana Water 334%, NEDCO 113%, PRA.
Well, Oba me da si bebre so ma me sa chance ibio. Now just briefly, na me pese honorable asema o kan nka me hit in the back kakra. Sure. You say United States of America, any Ghana government, no, they talk about.
Hope you are not going to use all your.
No. I'm just being brief. Okay. They talk about a rules-based world order. So, EU sanctions, no, United Nations positions. The USA and EU sanctions against Russia, no, it does not have the blessing of the United Nations Security Council. Okay. So, we should take note of that. Now make sure I come back to say CPP when we're in government. What would have President Kwame Nkrumah, who was the leader at the time, have done?
Sure. Beba, nipa ni ho for now. Even though Obeye Niema Bebre Edemaye, you saw you're the best president Ghana has ever had.
Sure.
What is the crop of people in CPP now going to do?
Oba sama okay. Akwa to say osofu gina ho preacher o si Yesu yesi ni Yesu yesi. Na obuso osofu ne say Yesu be kind. Na wo be den. Me mama no si move some questions. See me. Kwame Nkrumah ideology, your party, your friend, incrementist. The ideology is incrementism. What you say? Until we have to refer to the source of the ideological. See, Christians, a Christopher, almost share yes, we need CPP for incrementist ideology, incrementism. We look at some of the things Nkrumah did. And see what I'm saying is and Ghana no so say we obi a pay attention to geopolitics we need to be positioning ourselves in order to negotiate from a position of strength. Enti Kwame Nkrumah CPP government no akosombo dam na ye kwaji baaye no na ye ho to say Russia for person mo ye bui dam o and a USA for my akosombo dam say Russia for say omo ma 25% discount in oil. I was saying Ghana government no no say hey Russia for so omo ma 25 o na US for me bibi say you US President Biden every day or releasing 1 million gallons of petrol. Hey, barrels and gallons. At my US for it almost said in Philippines to say yeah, mobro wire. Now me can say yeah, you so yeah, geopolitically savvy.
Being a neutral position. So
President Akufo-Addo says that we are allied to the USA. And my US army are better than Nkrumah. I'll prove it to I'll prove it to him. In one of his speeches, he said that our allies.
Before some incident happened.
Oh yeah. What kind of case? Listen. President Akufo-Addo, he is one of the
countries. That alliance. It is what can say be any US or that.
But what's my US army? Why is the Russian army not here, for instance? But please don't assume for the president. Just by the way, you see, I have the highest regard and respect for President Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
My life no say me said the why President Akufo-Addo I know half me for who two sports. But you see that doesn't mean that he's the smartest man in Ghana.
Okay.
So I just so I'm just saying say the New Patriotic Party should seek to negotiate from a position of strength by drawing attention to EU-US sanctions against Russia and they say there's an offer out there. Take note, India is taking advantage of it. China is taking advantage of it. What is he talking about? The EU-US sanctions against Russia for taking undertaking a special military operation in Ukraine. It's illegal according to the United Nations Security Council. Now, coming to the electricity and utility prices in Ghana. Again, so we check your bones say ni nyina ba be wie oil prices now echo high. It is Babafuka where the linchpin. So it is at the center of everything that we are experiencing. Any crisis no. Name no sesiano akwa balancing. Na me kan panyin bi a oda a president na to anu or state owned organizations no. Now we can say electricity company as an example no. Omo subsidies. So omo ka so omo gi true price na Ghana phone to mintua. The akwa ni say over the past 30 years especially, mamenya even 40 years, beginning with the period when his honorable Dr. Kwesi Botwe broke the industrial backbone of Ghana when he dissolved and Gihok ne industries are Convention People's Party create adwuma krom hanom no obe break backbone no professor please I'm saying okay former minister of finance Matia okay Mati mami nchemu oh you popular am on phone him no Kwesi Botwe I'm sir I professor me time na wa fa bi no ya na de ma de ama me oba me time na MPP for robo no the American say honorable Professor Kwesi Botwe, former Minister of Finance under PNDC, when he broke the industrial backbone of Ghana by dissolving GEHOC, Professor Kwame Nkrumah and so create divestiture implementation committee. Mutunton Ghana goose, including some tons our own factory. Eddie Mama says Rollins near the Adeno. When all of those things happened, no, so put Ghana in a terrible situation. I ain't even recover still. Even New Patriotic Party and Omunia ata President Mahama in the MDC. Omoto subaya omabeye sa nyoma we no. The Ghanaian workforce no is on its knees. Say utility companies no cash omoji the true price of Ghana. Yenyina be to free kroma or there will be a civil unrest. So actually I'm expecting President Akufo-Addo to use his powers to ensure say they do not take real market rate, because the Ghanaian electorate and the Ghanaian people does not have what it takes to pay true market price, for the simple reason say so if you're an Akufo-Addo government as an example or buy a juma be 3 pen or create honorable Kofi Dwuma nya baako and I'm going to say juma be 3 honorable Kofi Dwuma honorable Kofi Dwuma oh that be so and I make us so Ghana ni when you juma Gihok see people for create here by the way so when you say juma no so me ref me hu je juma ni ho enti Ghana fo ni juma ye di tua utility rates ya omo person omo gi proposal and on top of that cry ye ni sika no president no ontimi create employment no was sign the e-levy abefie so say nka o sister o London o send £10 na hwan ho nti I'll just appeal to the president and the New Patriotic Party the president and the New Patriotic Party to intervene in this instance. The proposal from the utility companies is a real market proposal, but the people of Ghana are not working.
Thank you. Honorable proposal 334%, 148, 113.
Edu diversity NDC for non PNDC for atonton my company Obabo mudie no osuro now history obi makes the assumption now you get it wrong. I just say papa bia obi abanche no obi say makola kwa awefa now say makola dey say obi anim nipa ni manko obi say makola kwa awe some no mafikira na metwe adwen abakwan no so anyway so do na nyame ase na o say adwuma ni ho PNDC ni NDC foi adwuma nkroma digya ye nyina no o dey 1 minute cram be ka dia me
pacho soprano no one the act builders I mean control say also please tell the CPB man that people are listening to the show and many are learning a lot from the show, so he should pronounce the words well. It's in Nkrumahs, not in Nkrumahs. Yes, baby. You should take note, and next time he shouldn't repeat the Nkrumahalastical mistake.
I take note, please, my friend.
Democracy sisi ana ho fa so. Nkrumah time na pronounce ni di no wrong graba na nka ayifo abefa. Yombe ke bia okay. Ka bi ni go use media mo infa me correct. Mo go for your problem young panyafo. Young panyafo nko akoba mane se obi se odi no nka de be kina ya be. Na ya be na ki abefa uko. So ke o se adwuma ni ha na den. Oh yes. Enu ba bia ye pe no. But all council no can ye Newman Nkrumah digya e nyina NDC for ne PNDC for e beton ni nyina atunto obi ma omo yere nom nya de se de na okay so na do adaroma MPP ya ba ye e na o me o starting o we say na beka sala so anhwa unya bi nkasa oh me here even 2 minutes me beka sa 2 minutes papa ye din a me de time aka nya ba no o nya solution bia so prescribe so Nina aka na magro ne de so etika wo ka se adwuma ni hwe na nka waka se anya hwe kwa ye da na ado ase se MPP ba afoforo yi no nyuma e friend say PNDC ni NDC for beton ye nyina under one district one factory me no ka say about 106 of new companies are any existing companies ya rebrand and say ya resource adwuma including said the instead of say Kofi Dwuma enya bi no na wa kire so say at least un kai the abanya ya kura no Gihok distilleries egu kodwoto but due to the dynamic lead NDC for na gu no I mean was some there na so do ba bia u kan this na as o dance around It is saying as it is. Say at a set. And this is for good no kodwoto. Now so due to me Kofi Duma ni vision and the leadership qualities what me revise a friend say Gihok the stories Emma Minue when ya hwanka ko de no example ko Ghana publishing ko hwe Minue Ghanaian friend example akwani friend no
yeah now ko print
Ghana let my vote count. David Asante. Koko said why Ghana publishing. And all these kinds of a lot of them were in a oh yes. Oh yeah, I don't know so one district, one factory, of course, and you the kid one. Oh yes, if you ask baby I day. Okay. Ghana I denied in the BIAMAH. A movie nada. Ufi heko ufi every day bia uhun kofo egusu san. Meboa. U two cars is here, ubu cars are 2022 year and ya register several of the wish ya mo kwan so. Nti e man this ni bia me dada say even in the midst of these difficulties nothing is happening. A lot happen. But say the Bible can also okwadwofo ko 30 an nchen. But na kwan na su enyansa. Yes, it's true say difficulties aba. We are seeing now maybe Ghana so. In the midst of all these difficulties, opportunities in be a war system no more. It go out there. Now, some of these opportunities is be now so far improve our brabo. And yes, I know diminu a fashi no mochi. They tell oh no fire about buy it. And so on come and God.
Why is it to
no more turn on. Oh minimum say na ye tinja na ye ka say premeni scanning na fa any premeni. So the make no. And so about papa ba some dream all this is number. But anyway, coming back to utility issues here again. To me any issue. Agro ba ma me fia. Yen to me kan kushia no kwan. As a former member of energy committee 12 years on that committee. I know it's a PURC, and the sole body of my state, when I'm a kind of person, state institution, and your government institution, state, your DSC was say, yes, we can do about, do proposal about, for Nina bra table so, now you discuss, come and justify why your officer, who here, some percentage now all can. Do much yarum to adrian, omunko table no, omenya even sometimes. 10% or 20% of demand in that. Because some of the year cost build up no. Tese na minua super okay. Yes, energy well maybe a factor. No your percentage contribute towards more cost no more justify say PRC for the two manaso munyentum. Commercial losses and industrial losses. And so it costs a lot. Ghana water free to the bikra na o person a good citizen. O number be kra na park na pie na wa frɛ o mo no kra no ho. No makra o mo mfa. It is such losses echo bar. You don't pass the cost on to us. Unfortunately, say as I state institution because or pass you and pass you indirectly yaniana be say etua. But I believe say yes. Omunko PURC I'm saying who he said ye be ye hu trobo kese. Omunko PURC no omunko justify. Now I know say by the time I'm be free of banner it is a pan why I born fresh near the ashafu no. Free of mrano na why you brown na ye adia ye dia I believe say omunko PURC with omo proposals no emrano what they may get no adia Ghana for ebetumi aso.
Meda CP Honorable Ben Ayed no Victor.
Iyaba. No cry ba ko pe. Pempenso aye do o man mu no. Me yemfa bibia mfa anye politics. And a kasa bebre no. Is not what is important today. Mr. Honorable. The Oman na buy no. Enye listening government. No muntie ni yeso yeka. Because Oman no make yes from the other side of the divide. And for that matter, Ghana for. Mama, I don't know when you did my minute. Honorable Kasama Yedi Wahano. Why is
government? It's government.
No, but she's also taking her way. Are you the host? Only host in Tijami and Namikasa. So in the nutshell, the no credit da honi eka extra wa momuntie. Where we are today, our my mono, and pensua yedu no. It's high time BBAC near senior near my code a D chefano. Minyamba. Because if we are say or no says we are say ding. Na we me who no me who say we are saying no and I kind to this level. Already no na economy no any number omumbon. One would ye red ditch mo de dada. Somewhere 2019 no. Na niaman koye. They were even cooking they were even cooking figures. They were even cooking figures. Internationally it's you correct oma. No omone with na kontokwa. So the mini ATM nya woni ATM. In the nutshell, mini abai. Once on my mo heading. Aniema kokokokosro no. The more you keep imposing taxes are Ghana for Breno. You expect all this utility and whatever service way to demand more. To demand the Ebema Omojuma Swide Akoso. Me pese abaye hu. Niehia kese ne se. If the electricity company is demanding a percentage tariff, say enkosro emawom na Ghana Water SCA ya enunti na ban bia wa batwa mu e make provision for ESLA. Do you remember that tax? The purpose of that tax was to make sure we cushion all these people. Maba yedina min kasa o brother. So you see ESLA okay energy sector levy. Ya no mo that time no e ka kire say sa tax the omoba ombe fio. What happened? Despite the fact say wo ho no omo be tu mu ma say see kra de omo de akoje awowa. Omo de akosi awowa. Instead of 5 years time na nka the tax component nke be ye free fuel price no eso. But omo de koje awowa. I'm increasing it from 5 years to 15 years. I mean, no say. Is that money serving the purpose? And can you see G4 and demand more? And oh, mommy. So one, that is what the problem is. Secondly, there are a lot of government institutions on a higher way. Despite Adam, Otua rate, Otua light bill, Otua water bill, ministries no. Neko find out. Neko even electricity company nankasa mu. Omu demand no. Say abai na ese Otua. The huge sum of money. The huge, me say yabubo a car government institutions no tie. Biam also 2 minutes. Me so make us also utie no. Suban o de betna the honorable de betna hanen. Afa na mehu no. Man worry. Say na kumbu asem no kan no. Kumbu asem na honorable kan say we are talkers no. Or no, he was referring to his communicators. And for that matter, that is what he said. Wow, solution mean can be.
Wrap up, my man.
So in the nutshell, no, Abai should make sure say a car government institutions on this utility way service no. If not paying entirely, at least the chunk of it no percentage be a beboa omojuma because that demand no make with levy on top with transport fares going up. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Now I'm buying a scene booking tantin say tax elements there fuel price the one new so windfall is the international price cost rona windfall now omunya yes you too oil nibi. Nanka no matter how small to cushion us on the dabida media menya dia near Saturday tariff. Esa de betu ya so dia Beyonce.
Utility company.
Who na grofo chesi who
Utility company bit is Ghana Water Company. Do we have to fault them? Because look at the nature of yensu. Ensu ya first na yenya ye de fadro bemustre yen shadan treatina ahibian enne ni nyina asai emma ye bokasa to no treaty ensuo ni ye ansa na yetimi dia supply nkofo. It is almost per increment we here. Do we have to fault them?
I'm saying it's realistically, no, we are right to demand that, but it is incumbent on government to put certain mechanisms in place. A big cushion that's the point I'm making.
Which government?
Government, why is there?
That's a problem.
I mean, what is here? Why the catch the Ghana for say, yeah, bad tax crowd, we are moving from taxation to what? To production. The promises of Omayeno. That's what Ghanaians are looking at. And then what taxes are they giving us? They say to bottom tax, you know, more.
Thank you, Oba.
Honorable, dear me. Next week, making sure that
Saba regional secretary.
Yes, I was the former Greater Accra. But the AN said
you were the former Greater
Accra regional secretary. Immediate past. Yes, because contest. Yeah, I contest.
They say you are coming back.
Me say on to me
They say Kakano. They say Kakano. If and only if because who say your party no. We get to bridge. Any across or you don't time and so a open nomination. Okay. You don't sit. I am not supposed to be doing that. You're no. You're main can't say. Can't say my comment say when the bridge we get to that bridge now. Yeah,
I was young for her any day discussions in Sina. My main family messages are mother by ye or WhatsApp no so no. Me fa kakra entwemo emma mo e na fe yenko yen enim. Mr. Tay Edway Free Golf Estate ma. And also good afternoon, BIAMAH. Please, I want to once again draw the attention of the roads minister on the bypass from Tema through Pong Barrier to Michelle Camp that links to 3 regions, namely Eastern, Volta, and OT regions. It's in a terrible state, but nothing is being done about this road. Okay. I can add the amount. Afe yankwa Inshaba Anelka and also listening to John Mahama and NDC on Ghana's economy. Sometimes it's like watching cartoons with a case. Nana Baumia is going to manage the economy very well, and with the e-levy things are going to be better again. Still, the battle is the Lord's. I'm sure we're young. I say Old Man Party, NPP, George, and I do way free. Tema Ebaye. In fact, the NDC fraternity have chosen to pursue propaganda to the kingdom come. The cancellation of the e-levy in the second coming of ex-President Mahama proves that he still hasn't improved in managing our economy. Aiming to seek IMF support defines your inability to manage the country. Mukaila Jonas. And it's high time the Ghanaian citizen thank God for giving a leader like President Kufuor, who ensures that everything is available for our disposal. As I speak, almighty Nigeria is battling with fuel issues, which has resulted in long queues for fuel. Ghana should have been in this situation, but due to good leadership in place, Ghana is exempted from these worrisome instances. Ye be in telephone lines na atumuto na fe yafa 2 or 3 calls be na yako yang enim. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Obapa, Mami BIAMAH.
Ibacho dini baby Afrifi.
Mbacho uni akuma nukure asa mikasa Afrika so baby MP no tutu no.
It's you.
Mamenchi onu wejima for Obapa. In fact, Nana Kufuor wechi hamo. Nana Kufuor ni abadaye e de magana for. Nana Kufuor tumo tin e wo Ghana for so. Enne wama omayimo ye din ase bo. Bibia bo ye din. Enne Lord so kakra ye fo edikodi panso a enne wo hwe petrol ntomo amenne adrama fo so e kuma hiafo
Meda se pi. Hello, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Vacho dini baby afrefe jani mo yanko.
Oh. Na ore wa bwana ntemu na kama o ma mi ami mo midi. Mo wajuma. Oh, dia mi kan na ni se ye loru fe ye tutumi ye tutumi. In fact, akwani se Ghana ze obi atime de mrashe ni nsem ye de opa na. Eno obi ko prapra bi de abobo ya mi enu bi ko sio ano so watiku no de wahisha mra no de ma ban. Ibi de mi kan ja ban mo modi aja obama transport system ni ya no pa jo green be ye aduma. Oh,
Meda se jani mo meda sipi. Meda se. Hello, good afternoon. Vacho dini baby afrefe. Yo, yet you.
Gazi. Ewa ho papa. Eno mariko. Na kufa yetu abama u. Oje kukwasi ni papa no metan waji. Iko ya medita waji. Edi mu ayo magin se, o mo eni mu no. O mo di abane to nchen. O mo ti ni ko press conference se. Ebi se ni yeye. O bani bi eni wo. That's what you say, what you free wo. Nana.
Meda se pi. Hello, good afternoon.
Bye.
Yeah, Vacho dini baby afrefe.
Mi din di ke kira o fe mi so so obosuma se ekuya pim.
Yet you.
Ubi na ye be anka me kansem. Ya mi friend bi so wo. Latin tumwa ye eva ku fado ni mpeni fo sande ba se sei. Mi friend bi so wo. Ayi na nsina ye minister ye kenofurata ni office. Ifa office omu nyina wo so won di light ka nsuoka. Mpeni fo no omu ntie lagbe. Omu ntie nsuoka. Free.
Meda se pi. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Udini baby afrefe. Yet you. Yet you.
Yo, and I mean, any woman. I am Ghana for Yensia dear. Yensia dear Kakra. To yellow dog, yet you patrono, yen to a wet market and a quarter petrol free. And a wet market, you know. And to put in your course and give way a thing. Now, buy power on better petrol and we end over petrol back. And there will be a dear.
Meda se pi. I was here for Sadaka Sankoma production crew, Jordan Aduma Jero Saj, my friend, my bank one and I Safo. Wadano Manobo Michidome Vie. Asadaka Sankoma executive producer, Dr. Faradixen na. Also a producer from Esroho. Meeting at the MAAME BIAMAH bit me from BMZ1. Me sorry Ola Michael Ebeji and Tata Edie Akufi. Madam Unina say